Daniel Parker saying you've got to keep calm and cool for the twists and turns that are waiting at the end of the battle to get in the Premier League from the Championship. Two teams coming out here. It is electric at the Riverside. The Leeds contingent packed on a seat to be had on the far corner of the ground, and all around us the red, white of Borough as the two teams come out. Middlesbrough force their way into the playoff picture after that good run of recent form. Can they keep it going tonight? Their record in the league against Leeds is not a good one. They did, however, beat Leeds in the League Cup at Ellen Road earlier in the season. The two teams out down below us, the red and white of Middlesbrough, the changed dark strip of Leeds United. Neil Redfern, former Leeds boss, alongside us. You've been involved in plenty of teams that have been involved at this end of the season, Neil. What would you be thinking, or what would you be saying to your teammates right now?
Well, it's about making sure that they turn up. You know, and I know it's an obvious thing to say, but you've got to be ready. As soon as he blows that whistle, you've got to come out fighting. You know, and you don't want to be caught early on with a sucker punch, an early goal. You know, I know from my time here, we've got a 1-0 win here when I was in charge of Leeds. And, you know, we were under the pump for long spells, but got his noses in front and just did all the ugly stuff. Shot all the passing lanes off into the front, made it difficult for Borough, and just run the clock down. And, you know, the result's everything tonight for Leeds. They've got to bear that in mind.
They do indeed. Travers in goal for Borough. Back four, Dijkstill, Howson, Vandenberg and Illing Jr. Morrison, Hackney in the middle. Bergsorgi and Atchon Azaz behind Tommy Conway, who's winning fine form of late. For Leeds, it's Darlow in goal. Bogle, Rodon, Ampadu and Firpo in the back four. Gruyev and Tanaka in midfield with James, Aronson and Solomon behind Joel Pereira, who leads the line for Leeds. It is a great atmosphere here. There is so much at stake. We'll keep you up to date with all the other games and the goals. There are no goals yet in the Championship. That is good news for both Middlesbrough and for Leeds United. Rotherham lead at Bolton by a goal to nil in League One. There's plenty of EFL action. All the goals as they go round over on Talksport with Adrian Durham tonight. And what a feast of football we've got for you on the Talksport network. Paris Saint-Germain against Aston Villa tomorrow night, live in the Champions League quarter-final first leg. Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot and the former Villa captain Andy Townsend there. On Talksport 2 will be live at the CBS as Coventry take on Portsmouth. Ian Danter and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk will be there. Then Thursday, a triple header. Legia Warsaw against Chelsea from 5:45 on Talksport 2. And at 8 o'clock, it's Lyon Manchester United on Talksport and Tottenham Frankfurt on Talksport 2. And then on Friday, we're back home, your home of the EFL. Burnley against Norwich. Hugh Woodencroft, Adam Bridge and Adrian Clark. And that's before Game Day Live, where once again we'll hear Leeds as they take on Preston on lunchtime on Saturday. The Leeds team are in a huddle. It's now time to try and get the 3 points that could well lift them back into the top two, and potentially 5 wins away from a Premier League return. For Middlesbrough, they've forced their way into the top 6. The big question now, can they hang on to it? They potentially, last game of the season, go to Coventry. That could be a shootout for a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Both sides are, desperate for a result for different reasons. Leeds need to try and get the season back on track again. They have been the standout side this season, but you're only as good as your last performances.
Yeah, well, they're underway here at the Riverside. Carl Darlow, all in blue. A few boos for him because he used to play at Newcastle. Ball forward towards Conway, leaps high for it, and it should be picked up by Jayden Bogle. Leads in their dark blue strip, going from right to left. Darlow in a sky blue goalkeeping jersey. It's the all red with a white trim of Borough, and their keeper has got an all yellow strip on. Leeds just passing it around on the edge of their own area here. Darlow decides enough's enough and goes forward into the heart of the midfield, and the ball's flicked on to Peru, can't bring it down, and Middlesbrough will just poke it back to their goalkeeper. Dan James is giving chase here on Travers, and Travers, not the best clearance, gets it away on the far side. It's headed forward by Borough, and it's back on halfway where Leeds win the header, and now it's brought down by Middlesbrough. So a frantic start early on, a minute gone, it's 0-0. Redfern alongside us. The start, as ever, so important.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. And I'm just looking at the two wide players now for Leeds, Dan James and Manor Solomon. Both have got blistering pace, and as that ball got played back to the Middlesbrough goalkeeper, who was after it like a shot, Dan James, he's got that pace to put defenders under pressure. It's going to be really important tonight for Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds have it inside their own half. Ilya Gruev back in the side, getting a touch as he plays it to Solomon, who's got a little bit of room to get forward. Just for a moment he got away from Bergsorg, but Bergsorg tracks back and makes the block, if you like, and the ball back inside Leeds half, and Ethan Ampadu slotted into that back line. The absence of Pascal Strauss could be gone for the season. That could be a huge blow, couldn't it, for Leeds if he can't be returned. But here's Firpo, plays a great ball in. Solomon in down the left. He looks up, he feeds it into the 6-yard box, and it's turned in. Dan James scores inside 2 minutes for Leeds United. It's a blistering start. The ball through from Firpo. Solomon crosses it in, and there's Dan James to bundle it home. It's Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1.
Yeah, it's exactly the sucker punch that Middlesbrough didn't want. It's a fantastic ball inside the fullback to find Manor Solomon, and his pace gets him away from his marker, and it's a superb ball with his left foot right across that 6-yard box. Tempts the keeper, but he can't get it, and he's coming in like all good wingers do at the back stick, Dan James, to find the back of the net. Brilliant start for Leeds United.
Well, you called it. The pace down the flanks.
Yeah.
They've got, I mean, the pass from Firpo's outstanding to get Solomon in, and all he's got to do is pick a team out. He's put it right into the heart of the 6-yard box, and there, as you said, is Dan James arriving to tuck in his 12th league goal of the season.
Yeah, 2 things there, Mark, for me, key things. There's no pressure on the ball, so Firpo can play that ball in behind, and the back line's too high for Middlesbrough, and you're asking for trouble.
Well, James' effort was a scuff one. It actually hit the goalkeeper Travers under his arm. It bounced up and hit the crossbar, and it went in off the underside of the bar. Here goes Hackney. Middlesbrough looking for an instant response. Conway made a good run, but he's got no support. He's actually done really well to keep that. Finds Bergzorg wide on the right. He takes on Firpo, and then he left a foot on Firpo. Referee, I think, has given a free kick, and rightly so. 3 gone at the Riverside. What a start. Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1.
Yeah, this game's come alive straight away. I thought it might do. There's that much at stake. You know, both sides desperate for the points. And Leeds have found put the foot in the door, making it difficult for Borough at home.
Well, Daniel Farke said at the weekend, when you go on the road and you concede the first goal, it makes life so much more difficult. They did that at Luton. They managed to get a draw with James on the score sheet again. Well, he scored again tonight. He's having a great season, isn't he?
Yeah, I think the psychological part of it as well, Mark. You know, as soon as you go 1 down, you know you've got to get 2 to win. You know, and that's a lot in a football game. And it's obvious maths, but if you can keep things tight, make it difficult for the opposition, if you can nil them, the opposition, then you're always in with a chance.
Yeah. And here the Leeds fans in full voice. Only an hour up the road from Leeds here to the Riverside tonight. It is a local derby. And Leeds lead by 1-0. Sheffield Wednesday won up at Blackburn, and Preston have taken the lead at home to Cardiff. Those are the only other goals in the Championship. We'll keep you up to date with that. That means it's still goalless at Bramall Lane as Sheffield United take on Millwall, and Derby 0, Burnley 0 as Travers has it at the back, plays it forward. Bergzorg flicks it on. Ampadu is there, almost sweeping up, plays it forward. Peru would have been offside. It's brought down there at the back. Thought there maybe that Middlesbrough could have left that for the keeper. In the end, he played it forward. Tanaka wins the ball on halfway. Here's Ampadu, who's got his keeper Darlow back on the edge of his own penalty area. He'll play it to him now, and Darlow has it. He's looking for Bogle out wide. He'll use Rodon instead. Melier still on the bench for the second successive game. Here now is Solomon. Lovely flick header finds Peru. Solomon wanted that played over the top. Instead, it's a ball through. Here's Aronson. Just outpaced at the last minute. Maybe the 2 Leeds players both got in each other's way there, and it allowed Illing Jr. to get back and clear the danger.
Yeah, I think he did right there, Manor Solomon. I think he thought he was offside. He just leaves the ball to Brendan Aronson, who's also made the same run. Again, far too high as a line, Middlesbrough, and it's so easy to play that ball in between the back line and get runners in.
Well, it's interesting, look, Johnny Houston, there's another ball over the top here, and James is trying to pull it down out of the sky, couldn't quite get it, and it bounces through to Travers. You've called it, Neil Redfern. There's defending so high. Now, Johnny Houston has been one heck of a player, but his pace is not his biggest asset, is it? He's playing in central defence tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, and he's a central midfield player. He's used to being in amongst it in that central area, and, you know, going after the first ball. I just think in this game tonight, when you're up against such pace, you can't afford to play with a high line, because the Leeds are clever enough to put the ball in behind, and they've got the pace to catch it.
There's been a goal at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1.
Wow.
So the twists and turns have started. We've only been playing here 6 minutes. They've been playing 22 minutes down at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. Surprisingly beaten at the weekend, Sheffield United, and I know the Leeds fans think they're going through it. but so are the fans at Sheffield United and Burnley as well, Neil.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to remember that. I mean, all them at the top, they're feeling the pressure now. You know, it's the business end of the season, not many games left to get the points. You know, just looking at Middlesbrough at this moment in time, the press doesn't look right. Leeds are playing through it. You know, they've got a really high line at the back. They feel the crowd as well, a bit anxious.
And Leeds are all over them in midfield. Aronson and Peru did really well there. And now they've won it back. Here is Peru. Can he get the ball out of his feet? Great touch, Aronson. Leeds on the attack again. James has got Sullivan inside. He might have to go alone. He fires his shot, beaten away, straight back to James. Good save, Travers. Three-weight in the middle for the cross. James just that's a little bit too much of himself. But another break, another Leeds chance, still 1-0.
Yeah, they're causing all their own problems. Middlesbrough getting caught with it in midfield there. I mean, they can hear the crowd, the angst. You know, they just need to settle down, start passing the ball.
Ball on halfway. Leeds lead a 1-0. Dan James inside 2 minutes. They've had a couple of half chances since then as well, Leeds. It's all them at the moment here on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. What a great atmosphere here. But Leeds at the moment are well and truly on top. Now the big question for them, can they make this little passage of play pay? Because if they get another goal, Neil, it's a completely different game, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. And you know, the crowd will turn a little bit. You know, you can feel the angst now. You know, the Leeds are dominating possession, to be honest with you. They're really working the ball.
Here now is Firpo, slides it through. Ooh, I thought Solomon gave up on that a little bit there. I don't think that was the worst pass in the world, but as it started tonight, Borough in 5th. Bristol City level with them on points, but with an inferior goal difference. Still 1-0, Leeds lead. Ball played at the back. Howson finds Travers, finds Vandenberg, who feeds it to Dijksteel on this near side. He retreats and lets Johnny Howson get the ball, and they'll play it in the midfield. Nice little drop of the shoulder there from Aidan Morris. He then gets it wide to Dijksteel. Better from Borough. Now they'll get it with Howson. They're just looking for a little bit of spell on the ball. Yeah. As it stands, Leeds are top of the championship at the moment. That will change, I'm sure, throughout the night.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Borough now passing. There's a couple of times they work through the lines of Leeds, and that next ball needs to go forward.
Well, Hackney has found a ball out wide on the side for Illing Jr. down the left-hand side. He's gone towards the edge of the box, tries to feed it in, played it short for Azaz, back to goal, 6 yards out, pulled it back, hit a blue shirt, not a red one. Ball works edge of the area here, so there's a chance to get a shot away. Dijksteel will get it wide. He now finds the ball into Bergzorg, and then the pass from Firpo hits Bergzorg and goes behind, and that was a chance gone begging, but better from Middlesbrough. It was a little bit more direct from the Borough.
Yeah, less touches as well. Need more ball speed around the box just to disjoint this Leeds back line. They found a little avenue down the right hand side, but they shut the door in the end. Leeds, good defending from Leeds.
1-0 here, just in a replay of the goal. It's a scruffy effort from Dan James. He's got a toe poke on it about 5 yards out. Travers hit the bar and went in.
Yeah, he's not bothered, is he?
No. 25-yard screamer or 6-yard bobbler, they're all worth one.
Says the same thing in the paper the next day, doesn't it?
It does. So, big goal at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. Here it's 1-0, and at Pride Park it's Derby 0, Burnley 0.
I think that's the beauty of the Championship, Mark, innit? You just don't know. You get this time of the season, them sides that are near the bottom or have underachieved a little bit start picking up and getting results, beating the sides at the top.
Yeah. Here now is Azaz, plays it wide, nice ball through here. Illing Jr. He drives forward, a couple of little skip overs, tries to beat Bogle, and Bogle comes up with a tackle. And the ball's out for a throw in front of the Leeds United fans. I don't know how many tickets they've got, probably 3,000. Every one of them's been taken, that is for sure. Leeds, as it stands, top of the Championship. Okay, up today, all the goals as they go in. Adrian Durham's got those over on Talksport. If you've got the app, you can swipe left and right. Plenty of twists and turns, plenty of live games from the EFL, including Easter. We've got an absolute boatload of them. Perot goes to ground. That was a bit of a soft foul conceded by Morris, and it's a free kick for Leeds, and one that just slows the game up, and Leeds will get time to take their time with this free kick.
Yeah, I think he does that quite well, you know, Joel Perot. If there's nothing on, he just dwells on the ball, buys a little bit of time, invites a couple of tackles and just feels a challenge and goes down. He does that a lot. Just gets his team up the pitch.
Just saw there, Manor Solomon made 2 or 3 runs. He's ready for that ball over the top. Leeds haven't played it yet, but when they do play it, he's on.
They're almost like sprinters in the blocks.
Yeah.
You can see just as they're going to cock the foot to play the ball over the top, and they're still trying to squeeze and press. There's no pressure on the ball for Borough, but the line's right up on the halfway line.
Well, it is. I mean, if you've got the quality of range of passing, if you can flick a ball over the top, you'd be in. And here now is Aronson on the end of a flick from James. Swings are throwing over on the far side. I just think there's an awful lot of grass just to hit a ball over the top and trust that one of the speedsters is going to get on the end of it.
Absolutely, and I think you hit the nail on the head as well, Mark, when you said, you've got Johnny Howson in there who's a midfield player, and 1 or 2 players. It's a little bit makeshift at the back for Borough.
It is. That's a nice ball out wide on the far side. Played first time to Dan James. James got Bogle on the outside. Cuts in on his left foot. Goes for goal, and it's just over the top. That did not miss by far. Keeper May just have had it covered. But Dan James, a left foot curler, just set it a little bit too far wide of the post. You mentioned that defence. Dale Fry fit again. He's on the bench, but clearly Michael Carrick not prepared to take the risk with him.
No, I mean, obviously he's thinking of the long game, and if they can get anything out of this against Leeds, I would have thought it'd be a bonus, but they are at home, they are expected to make the run-in, but I just think at the moment it's almost like suicide. They're playing such a high line, it's difficult for them to defend.
Yeah. Borough go to Millwall at the weekend, Plymouth at home, Sheffield Wednesday away, Norwich at home, Coventry away. That already, he's got a bit of a circle around it. That could be a shootout for a place in the playoffs. Leeds got Preston at home, Oxford away, Stoke at home, Bristol City at home, and they go to Plymouth away on the last day of the season. Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1. 13 gone, Mark Wilson, Neil Redfern live here at the Riverside. It's been quite a lovely afternoon, but once you got out of the sun it was a bit chilly, but it's not too bad in the stadium tonight.
No, helps when it's sold out as well, doesn't it?
It does. Lovely atmosphere here. Here come Middlesbrough then. They just stopped the Leeds, had a bit of an onslaught, didn't they? First 5-6 minutes. They've managed to quell that a little bit now, Middlesbrough, and they're now looking to work their way forward. Ball on halfway. Here now is Howson. Howson will play it out on this near side. Here, Bergzorg gets it away to Dijksteel. He gets it back. Dijksteel goes past one, feeds it back in now to Hackney, who's just outnumbered. Aronson picks his pocket. Altanaka wanted to play one over the top, but he just couldn't quite find the space to land the ball in, so he gets it away instead. And here now is a marauding run from Roden from the back. Well, I thought got a bit of a nudge in the back. Referee's happy to let play go. Borough get it back. They have it inside their own half. Still 1-0 Leeds.
Yeah, a little bit kamikaze there from Rodon. Just needed to play that ball out, keep his shape. His team are 1-0 up. If they can nil Borough tonight, that would be a great feat.
15 gone here. Half an hour gone elsewhere in the Championship. Blackburn 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1. It's goalless. Bristol City, West Brom, 2 teams fighting it out for the top 6. Derby 0, Burnley 0, Norwich 0, Sunderland 0, Preston 1, Cardiff 0, Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1, Stoke 0, Luton 0. That's a big game at the bottom. And Watford 0, Hull 0. Leeds lead. 15 gone here. Ball works its way out onto the right. Bergzorg has it. Gets it away now to Dijksteel. He goes forward. Lays it off now. Path of Morris. Morris just wanders forward. He's looking for someone to jump out, I think, and create a gap, but he couldn't find one. So he goes back to Howson. He gets it away to Vandenberg, who then fires a quick ball out to Illing Jr. He's midway inside the Leeds half. Left-hand side, cuts in. Tries to feed it towards the edge of the box. Finds Finnazaz. Lays the ball back here. Works its way to Dijksteel. Now they're in with an attacking chance. Bergzorg wide on the right. Squares it here to the edge of the area. Nacho hits one, but it was just always going a little bit too high. He got hold of it, but couldn't quite keep his shot down. But a warning for Leeds there. Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1.
Yeah, that's a lot better from Borough. And what they do is they really find the width and they stretch Leeds. They make them go out of the shape to go out and close that wide one down. And as the ball comes across, they find Kelechi Iheanacho in space. His first touch just sits up a little bit, but he's got the confidence to try and dip it into the top corner, but just makes it a little bit big. But much better from Borough.
Yeah, ball played forward by Darlow. Peru the target, wins the header, but Vandenberg is there. Illing Jr. plays it back to Howson, who controls it and brings it down. Gets it away now to Morris.
Just looking at Michael Carrick there, Mark, he's saying to Kelechi Iheanacho, just play further up the pitch, get closer to Tommy Conway. Looked a bit isolated at the moment.
Well, here's Illing Jr. advancing forward as Az and Conway wait in the area. Illing Jr. cuts back in, gives it to Hackney. Hackney 25 yards out, feeds it out over on the far side. Illing Jr. on loan here at the Riverside, feeds it back into the centre of the field. Leeds are trying to press out, and they've got Howson back on the centre circle, and Leeds have successfully forced Middlesbrough away. Illing Jr. gets it back, first time pass is a good one, finds Finn Azaz, whips in across Conway. Sadly for Middlesbrough, he went to the far post, the ball went in the middle of the goal and he was intercepted, and then Darlow comes sliding out to collect it, and Leeds have it back.
Yeah, they do look like they've got a little bit of menace about them, but when they get in them control positions, locked on in that final third, and they can move the ball quickly, they're finding the spare man. It's more of a build than a raid. Leeds is more of a raid when they attack.
Ball back to Darlow once again. Wastes no time getting it forward. You are listening live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson and Neil Redford, former Leeds manager, with you at the Riverside. Dan James' goal early on has Leeds in front, but Middlesbrough will be well aware. I think it's 1 clean sheet in 8 for Leeds, so they are prone to conceding goals at the moment, and that will be in Middlesbrough's hopes as they come forward here. Leeds, Aronson has it, driving forward, feeds it to Peru, tried to turn it round the corner for James. Solomon was there waiting, but Peru couldn't get rid of it. Rodon wins the ball, and it just didn't quite fall for Dan James, but Rodon will get it back here, 30 yards out from goal. This time he finds Solomon, flicks it onto the edge of the area here, looking for the give and go is Solomon. Aronson fouls, and that'll be a free kick for Middlesbrough. That was a bit unnecessary from Brendan Aronson, and Middlesbrough once again survive. 1-0, 18 gone.
Yeah, just not clearing the lines. Vandenberg first, and then Illing Jr. Just got to try and find the front if they can. It's important if you've got one lone striker that he makes himself available. Tommy Conway, it's got to be there as a target, and it's got to stick.
Ball on halfway. Play round the corner. Here's Conway, gets it away wide on the left-hand side for Middlesbrough. Conway follows his run forward. It's towards the back post. Bergzorg beaten to it by Firpo. Thought Bergzorg needed maybe to attack the penalty area a little bit more there. He rather hung back, and that allowed Firpo to get the header away. Solomon, oh, it's an awful pass, and Tanaka there has just saved his skin because he more or less crossed it into his own penalty area. Listen to the noise at the Riverside. The home fans just sensing there's a little bit in this for them.
Yeah, he got away with one there, Leeds. It's a really sloppy pass. You know, if they'd been switched on and alive there, they could have capitalised on that, but
just a crazy ball from Solomon. The ball back on halfway. Middlesbrough have it. Still 1-0 here. Goal for Reading at Shrewsbury, led by a goal to nil. Peterborough 1, Birmingham 0. Those submit at Wembley, don't they, in the Virtue Cup at the weekend? That'll be live on Talksport 2. Dance will be there. I wonder if he'll have his Birmingham scarf on. Surely not. Huddersfield 0, Wickham 0, Mansfield 1, Leyton Orient 0, and Rotherham lead at Bolton. Firpo intercepts a pass, finds Solomon, just pushed him a little bit wide. He had a little bit more room than that, Firpo, then goes down in a tackle. Ball's back with Leeds, play on. Ampadu just miscontrolled it, but Rodon is there. Just gives it back to his Welsh international teammate.
Just looking at that loose pass there that went to where Ampadu was, and Conway's chasing it down, but he's not close enough to get to it, and I'm looking at Iheanacho, he needs to back him up. You know, he's getting isolated.
Well, Leeds have messed about here in their own half, and they've given away a free kick. A throw in. Going to be taken by Dijkstill. Borough certainly growing into this one after a pretty nervy opening 7 or 8 minutes in which they went behind a Dan James second-minute goal.
Yeah, I think it's an obvious trait that Leeds have looked at. You know, that ball in behind, they obviously play an high line, Borough. And when you've got a team with the pace that Leeds have, you know, it can be really difficult to defend.
Illing Jr. wins the throw-in. Over on the far side. Some Borough subs warming up down below us. Could do with a booster seat in here. I can't see over there. And you just see the touchline.
It's all right for us 6-footers, mate, we can see.
Ball out on this right-hand side. Here's Dijkstill again. Looking to get towards the edge of the area. Cuts in, looking for a pass. Gets it away to Morris, finds Hackney, who then gets it away. Here now is a chance on the edge of the area for Bergzorg, but his pass is intercepted. There's danger here. James is off. He's like Roadrunner. He's looking to outpace them all. He's bundled over by Ealing Jr. Great tracking back, and now he's going the other way. What a game. What a start to the game this is.
Yeah, magnificent from James. Spotted the space in front of him and just set off. And he fetched his team, what, a good 40 yards up the pitch. Then needed to offload that ball. Great recovery run.
Yeah, Ealing Jr. did a great job, didn't he? Showed his pace to get back. Here now is Howson going the other way. The former Leeds man squares it edge of the area, looking for the shot. Is Azaz shoots, and it's deflected wide of the target. Another roll goes round the riverside. Borough looking for the equaliser.
Yeah, they're just wobbling, Leeds. A little bit loose, out of possession. Not really going after the ball when they should be in and around that penalty area. It's important that you realise the danger. Make sure that they can't get a shot off at goal.
Corner going to be swung in. Thought Howson could have had a shot there. Once he dropped with the shoulder, got him into the edge of the area. Borough have got 5 in the 6-yard box here. Are they going to try and camp Carl Dart, cramping for space here? They're right on the goal line, the Borough players. They're going to play it more. Well, they played it short, Middlesbrough. The referee's blown the whistle. I think he's not happy.
No, I think he's right, the referee. He's got to pull that up, because if he doesn't, that ball comes in and you're looking at a foul one way or the other.
Referee's laying the law down, Andrew Kitchen. All going to be swung in. This time whipped in near post. It's not cleared by Leeds. It's there to be shot at, and it's turned in.
Offside.
Turned in from close range when the offside flag has gone up to save Leeds. It was a defensive howler, and having seen the replay, Conway did look to be in an offside position. It's a goal hanger's goal, but it doesn't count.
I tell you what, a little technicality here, but fair play to Leeds. Not good defending initially, but when they get the half clearance, they step up. So anything that's shot or played, they're going to catch Leeds players offside, Borough players offside.
And he is off.
And I think it's not Rodon.
Bogle that got out just in time. Yeah, he's a half a yard off. Great spot from the assistant. Still 1-0. Solomon was impeded there. There could be a card here. Referee not happy with, I think, 2 fouls on Solomon there, but that's just a warning for Leeds. It wasn't a great corner. It wasn't dealt with at the near post. As you said, Neil, they had the presence of mind to get out, and it was that saved them.
Yeah, exactly. I just think from Leeds' point of view now, there's still that nervousness about them. They are winning 1-0. You know, they've shown the teeth. They've shown they're capable of scoring goals against Borough, but they're still not over that, you know, that nervous reaction when the opposition comes onto them.
They need a second goal, you feel. What a start to the night. 24 gone here, live on Talksport 2. Pleasure and a privilege as ever to be covering these games at the top end of the Championship. And there's plenty more twists and turns. That Easter weekend is going to be crucial, you feel, to all the teams involved at both ends of all the divisions in the EFL. There'll be plenty to be decided, and you hear how it's decided all on Talksport. Leeds, again, they're playing a little bit of nonsense football inside their own half.
They're playing themselves into trouble, Leeds. And I think Borough are starting to sense it. You know, if ever you need a side needing an encouragement to go 5 yards further up the pitch, this is it.
Yeah. Middlesbrough have it. In the centre circle. Rav Vandenberg, little turn. Gets it away. Here now is Morris, who looks for the crossfield switch. That's a great pass. Can Ealing Jr. deal with... Oh, I thought he had done. First touch lets him down. You are listening to Middlesbrough against Leeds in the EFL Championship, live on Talksport 2 and McDonald's. Automatic delivery on the app and get rewards points. 18 plus, participating restaurants, delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com. Here you go, the Borough on the attack, driving forward here. Azaz into the area, turns, spins. His Pascom shot was blocked and Firpo clears it away for James. Can Leeds counter here? Can they find a pass? Firpo on the turn. Needs to protect the ball. James takes it from him. It's 3-on-3. James driving at the heart of the defence. Looking for Solomon, who just stayed wide there. And that means he has to come back to Firpo. Firpo will in turn find Gruyev, and the move just stalls a little bit, but Leeds still in possession. I think Dan James was looking for Solomon to try and make a run in towards goal there, and he never moved.
Yeah, he did. I just think that Leeds, though, I mean, when the opposition starts coming onto them and then space appears, that's when they're at the best. You know, they are a raiding team. get the ball into the wide players, they'll get you in around the opposition's penalty area within seconds.
Yeah, they will. Here now on the far side is Bogle, lays it back, still 1-0 Leeds lead, 26 on the clock. Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern enjoying the action here at the Riverside. Middlesbrough need points. Ball works its way to Solomon. He's got Firpo wide on the left-hand side. Here's Gruyev now, gets it away. Ethan Ampadu on the edge of the centre circle has it. Lays it back to Gruyev. All on halfway now, and an opportunity here for Leeds to attack again. Little drop of the shoulder. Ampadu is running into a bit of trouble. He gets a little bit fortunate. Three around him. He managed to retain possession and eventually just shovels a safe pass out to Dan James, and Leeds just happy to have the ball. They've been on the back foot probably the last 10 minutes, Leeds.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Daniel Farker, and he's basically saying, look, just take your time. You know, just connect passes. You don't have to go forward so early. You know, make Borough work, make Borough go from side to side. Borough are happier now just to sit in that low block. They've been stung a couple of times in behind with the pace of Leeds.
When you watch Leeds, they are like two different teams. When they attack from inside their own half, they're like lightning, aren't they?
Yeah.
But then when they get the ball over the halfway, they're a little bit more pondering in possession. They're not quite as cutthroat.
What they do is they get the balance right between raiding and building. You know, so once they get...
Well, there's Aronson, gets in down the left-hand side. Can he find a teammate? No, Howson's chest blocks it. That was good football, though. They were patient there, Leeds. And the ball headed away by Ampadu. It comes off Conway and out for a throw into Leeds. Still 1-0.
Yeah, I was just saying, I just feel they get that balance right between raiding and building. You know, they raid, and if they can't get in there and get an effort at goal straight away, they're happy to turn around and go back, start connecting passes. And it's good play because it gets the opposition on the back foot.
Sheffield Wednesday 2-0 up at Ewood Park. Been a good end to the season for Blackburn. Still goalless Bristol City West Brom. Derby 0, Burnley 0. Norwich 0, Sunderland 0 as Leeds break away, but they're brought back courtesy of a referee's whistle. And it's still at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1.
Just watching Brendan Aronson and Allmark, and I know he got left out in the last game and they started with Willie Onto, but the industry and the endeavour that he gives you, a little bit hit and miss technically at times, you know, sometimes his touch is not great and what have you, but the actual industry he gives you and his knowledge of, you know, when they've not got the ball, going after the opposition, gives them such a boost.
Iheanacho is fouled by Ampadu. I think that was he was happy to give that away, Ampadu. It was about 15 yards inside the Middlesbrough half. Free kick given away. No real cost to Leeds, and Borough start again on halfway.
Yeah, I just think Borough just need to try and up the pace a little bit. You know, I know they're trying to find the little gaps in between.
Here now is a possible break opportunity, but Hackney was there to win it straight back. Illing Jr. loses out on halfway. Wins a throw-in. Mention the ups and downs. Millwall are 1-0 up at Bramall Lane. If they win there and Borough lose here, Millwall are 3 points behind Borough. They meet at the Den on Saturday. So all of a sudden, Millwall, who are way out of it, could find themselves in it on Saturday.
Yeah, and that's Middlesbrough's scenario, isn't it? So they'll be going in at our time thinking, look, Millwall's winning, we need to get his fingers out here because, you know, we need more than this.
Ball played forward, given away. Now Pirot has it on halfway. He turns, if he looks up, he had James down the middle. He plays it instead to Solomon. Solomon cutting inside, finds Pirot edge of the area. Can he find a pass? Turns Pirouette's neat footwork, but can't work it through. Just maybe needed to move it on first time there. And the ball cleared away by Borough, who have it on this near side. Iheanacho's pass couldn't be controlled. Firpo comes forward, finds Solomon. Solomon wide on the left, finds Firpo. Left corner of the penalty area, stands up the cross. It's cleared away. Aronson might keep this in, but Illing Jr.'s quick. Bogle slides in, and Bogle is going to get possession back here. Great tackle goes in from Finazaz, and it's out for a throw-in. I'll tell you what, both sides giving it absolutely everything here.
Yeah, they are really committed. You know, them loose balls are really important because as soon as the opposition gets possession, you don't see it again for a couple of minutes.
It is 1-0 to Leeds. They are at the moment top of the championship because Burnley are drawing and Sheffield United are behind at home to Millwall. Here's Firpo invited forward from Solomon's neat little pass. Firpo just ambles forward, no real desire to attack down that left-hand side on his own. He waits for Gruyev to take the ball off him. He then gets it away. No Rothwell tonight, who's injured. Pascal Strankart injured as well. Ball played forward. Peru linking play up again. Gets it to Firpo. This time has got Solomon on the left. Dijksteel comes to close space down. Bergzorg is there with him. And they show Leeds away from goal and back towards halfway. Gruyev has it. Leeds lead by a goal to nil. 31 on the clock here live on Talksport 2. Dan James, 12th league goal of the campaign, has Leeds in front. But at 1-0 it's a nervy lead. A second goal really would calm the nerves of those Leeds United fans here at the ground and at home listening live on Talksport 2. Ball inside the Leeds half with Tanaka, gets it away, and here now is Ampadu. They're almost trying to draw Middlesbrough out. Ampadu there, risky but backed his skill. There's a couple of Leeds fans stood behind us, Neil. They nearly fainted then when he turned into trouble, but Ampadu had the quality to get it away.
Yeah, it did, and the result of that, as soon as you're out, you break the lines, then you've got to pass, with Middlesbrough outnumbered.
What a pass that is from Ampadu. Finds Bogle. Bogle picks it up, drives forward towards the edge of the penalty area, feeds it in. Dan James is onside, drives it across the face of goal. It's all the way through to Solomon. 15 yards out, plays it back to Firpo. Firpo tried to feed it through the keeper. There were two waiting on the line, but it's saved by Travers and behind for a Leeds corner.
Yeah, brilliant from James. Just got the defender stood and then made that little run across him inside. It's a great little ball to find him. I'm looking at Manor Solomon there. I don't think he was even looking at the ball. As the ball gets played back past him, it crossed an identical ball for his mate to score, and all he got to do was exactly the same there, Manor Solomon.
Yeah, corner for Leeds. Travers made the save that he needed to make. Leeds with a set-piece opportunity. Ball whipped in near post. They tried to flick it on Peru. He'll hold it up, lays it back here to Solomon. Solomon drives his way towards the penalty area, whips in a ball, great ball in the far post, and it's turned in, but the offside flag's gone up, and I'm not so sure how Tanaka was offside there. Leeds are furious. I'll tell you what, this will be interesting. Tanaka pleads his innocence. Is this another great decision from the officials? Well, there's no VAR, so it's offside and that's it, but we await a replay here.
Just looking at it now, Mark.
He's onside. He's well onside.
Yeah.
That is a huge call. Tanaka sneaked in at the back post, and the official on the far side has got that one wrong.
Yeah.
Leeds have been denied a second goal here. Make no mistake, one look, it was clear. And now going the other way is Illing Jr. Tanaka back defending. Needs to stop Illing Jr. Illing Jr.'s got by him. Drives the ball. Here's Iheanacho. What are you doing? He spooned it 20 yards over the bar. He's got to hit the target. He had time to have a touch. He hit it first time and it went high into the back of the stand. Big chance there, but Neil Redfern, Leeds should be 2-0 up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really bad decision from the linesman. He's timed his run superbly well, Ayo Tanaka. But just going back down the other end, Kelechi Iheanacho there, that ball's coming onto him. He never ever looked confident they were going to get that down and keep it on target. Just threw a leg at it. It timed there, he could have had a touch. A seasoned finisher would have got that down, had a touch and found the back of the net with it. Good opportunity.
Huge opportunity. But Tanaka denied, Leeds denied. Good work again from Manor Solomon. It was a great ball into the box.
Yeah, it was.
Ball played over the top for James. He's brave, wins the header. Aronson takes it in stride, plays it wide for Solomon. Solomon now looks up. They'd made plenty of runs in. Bogle had bust his lungs there to get into the edge of the area. Feeds it back to Tanaka. He's on the edge of the area. Feeds it now to Solomon. Tried to lob up the cross over the first line of defence. It'll be kept in on the near side by Firpo. Leeds incensed by that goal being ruled out, looking for a second. They lead 1-0.
Yeah, good play by Leeds. Got them camped in that half now, moving the ball around quickly. The wide players, Buddha can't deal with at this moment in time. When they get a little bit of a run on, both Manor Solomon and Dan James just got their legs on the fullbacks. Illing Jr. and Anthony Dijksteel really struggling with them.
But even then, the leap of James, and Aronson gambled his mate was going to win the ball, and he was there ready to take it. Here now goes Gruyev. He's brought down by Iheanacho, who throws his arms out in frustration. Not been a good couple of minutes there for Kelechi Iheanacho. Half-time Derby 0, Burnley 0, and Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. So Leeds, as it stands, atop. They lead by a goal to 0, but it could and should have been more. Middlesbrough did have a goal rightly ruled out away to our right for offside. Tommy Conway turned it in, but we've just seen Tanaka have his effort ruled out from a yard out when he was clearly onside.
Yeah, timed his run superbly, to be fair. Now Tanaka just waited for the cross to go across the back line and just stepped in and belted it into the roof of the net.
36 gone. Ball going to be whipped in by Solomon. It is whipped in into the danger area, headed partially away. Aronson and James are there, sweeping up. They get it back to Bogle. Bogle is thinking about going back to Darlow. He will eventually go back to Carl Darlow. And now he'll come out of his area, Road on his back to receive it. They'll go to Bogle instead. Solomon again is ready to go if the ball over the top. I'd love to see his stats for sprints, because he's always on the move, isn't he?
Yeah, high intensity runs, definitely.
Here he goes again, and he might get on the end of this. Peru might beat him to it. Peru just didn't quite have the pace, and the ball's out for a corner, though. It comes off Rad Vandenberg, and Leeds once again testing out this Middlesbrough defence with one simple forward pass.
Yeah, they're just not ready for it. That's the thing. You know, they're facing the ball upwards, the Borough back line. And Leeds United's attackers are facing Borough's goal almost like sprinters in the blocks, looking at getting behind that back line.
No goals yet in the Champions League. Arsenal 0, Real Madrid 0, Bayern 0, Inter 0. Here 1-0, corner for Leeds. Going to be swung in by Solomon towards the far post. Deep delivery, and Tanaka's having a bit of a wrestling match at the far post, and he couldn't get on the end of it, and it's behind for a goal kick to Middlesbrough. 37, nearly 38 gone. Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1. Dan James goal 2 minutes into this one. The controversy as Leeds have a second chucked off. How important will that be? I mean, we're talking about fine margins now, Neil, but that's a decision that ultimately could be worth 100 million quid.
Absolutely. And really, you know, he's in a great position, the line-up, because he's right on the far side of the line to make his run, Tanaka. He shouldn't really be getting that wrong.
No. Just mentioned there have been no goals in the Champions League. Looks like Inter have hit the front against Bayern. We'll confirm that for you shortly. No VAR might get involved there. 1-0 here. So Leeds started really well, then Borough came back into it. They've had a couple of chances, but now it's Leeds who are back on top again here. 7 to go to the break. Darlow has it. Not really yet for Leeds. Had a lot to do, has he, Darlow, apart from deal with a couple of passes inside his own area.
Yeah. He'll be happy with that, though. Any goalkeeper, they keep a clean sheet. That's what it's all about.
It's, I mean, obviously Melier, we know, has made several key errors, and I think the last one against Swansea was one too many. Darlow will just be coming and hoping for a quiet night, won't he? He doesn't want anything to do, does he?
Absolutely, you know, and from a manager's point of view, that's, you know, he's good defending from his back line. I'm pretty sure as this unfolds, though, he'll have something to do as the game goes on.
Yeah, well, 1-0. Travers has it at the other end, all in yellow. Beaten by Dan James' effort in 2 minutes. Goes forward for Conway. Ball headed away. Well won by Finazaz. Just wouldn't sit for him. He tried to drive forward. It was a really strong tackle. Then James gets it, but he's too quick for himself. He turned into a blind alley, and before he knew it, he'd lost the football. Here now is Illing Jr. wide on the Borough left-hand side. Middlesbrough have it. Is there another goal before the break? 5 to go here on Talksport 2. Dyche has it. Michael Carrick looks on. His side's on a good run of form. 10 points from 12 coming into this one. Here's Howson, gets past Solomon, gets it out wide to Bergzorg. Can he take on Firpo? Heads off in field, onto his left foot, pokes the ball to the edge of the area. It's well read and played away by Joe Rodon. And now Leeds turn over possession on halfway. Dyche still comes forward again. So has to retreat back into his own half. Middlesbrough have got to be patient. I think one thing we can say is if they play any kind of level of attacking football, Middlesbrough will get more chances in this game, that's for sure. Yeah,
I just think the difference between the two sides is that when Leeds break and raid and go with pace, that's stage managed, that's been prepared for. I look at Borough, there's a lot of build-up that seems off the cuff to me. You know what I mean? And I think it's difficult for a wide player to get on the ball and really affect it. We've not seen that much of Azaz, you know, who's got has been playing well this season. Also Bergzorg as well has not been in it much. I'd like to see more of Inacho, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not quite working, is it, that back three in behind at the moment. We've got plenty of attacking threat on the bench, like so Riley McGree, Morgan Whittaker, Marcus Force. All to come on. Ball out wide now to Willing Jr. He's always looking for the ball out wide on that left-hand side, and he's giving Dan James a bit of his own medicine, getting him going back the other way. Bogle's there to help him out. Willing Jr. gets it back. Here's Morris, finds Hackney.
You look at the build-up now, though, absolutely nobody around the box for Borough. You know, it doesn't need everybody involved in the build-up.
Here now is Bergzorg, wide on the right, looks to work it on his right foot, puts in across right into the 6-yard box, and there's not a red shirt anywhere near it. No. It's turned behind for a corner, but once again Neil Redfern's called it. Get somebody in the penalty area.
Yeah, you've got to have a red shirt on in the end of that. That's a great ball. Even if it's a red shirt, putting pressure on Firpo, because he turns that into his own net then. But as he does, the left-back defends it really, really well.
Yeah, it's going to be a corner. Well, they nearly scored from a set piece before. Johnny Howson, a former Leeds man, I'm sure he won't get too much grief. He was a man that scored a goal that got Leeds a promotion out of League One many years ago. Ball now looking to be crossed from the Borough left. It was a good charge down. Ball wakes back now for Aidan Morris. Milling Jr. has it. Leeds just poised to strike again. You can almost see they've set the trap. They're waiting for one loose pass. Ball over the top. Played into the edge of the area. Firpo got something on it and then plays it forward to Solomon. Oh, what a turn that is from Solomon. He's upended, and that's a free kick, and Solomon stays down, and we'll just take a few seconds out of the game. 2 to go to the break. Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1.
Yeah, they've done a lot of good things in this scarf, Leeds. You know, at times when Borough have had a little bit of joy, they've been a little bit disjointed, and you can see, you know, that little bit of fear creep in from the recent performances and results, but by and large they've managed this game well, I think, tonight, Leeds United, and they'll grow in confidence from this clean sheet. You know, the goal's important, obviously, because if you don't score goals you don't win games, but if you go away to a place like Middlesbrough and you've kept a clean sheet at half time, then you've got to be growing in confidence.
But there are 6 games left and nerves are everywhere. Well, it's only 1-0, those nerves are a bit greater than if that second goal had been counted. Firpo's in a bit of a wrestling match with Bergzorg. Bergzorg gets the free kick. Mentioned at Leeds that's struggling for clean sheets at the minute. They need one here, they'll win. The ball given away by Borough. Peru now, look at Dan James, like an Olympic sprinter, but I thought Peru was being held there. He's gone down, the ball, he couldn't find Dan James, and Middlesbrough survived. But once again, they were at the mercy there. One good pass from Peru and they were away, Leeds.
I think he's got to be stronger there, Peru, or release it quicker.
Ball won back by Tanaka. He then loses out. We're into the final minute of the opening 45. 1-0 Leeds lead. Bogle stands his ground. Hilling Jr. though beats into the second ball. Hilling Jr. now fires it in towards Iheanacho. He's got a ball out wide on the left-hand side. Bogle's going to concede a free kick there.
Silly free kick to concede.
Yeah, Hackney's gone down, and this is a set piece for Middlesbrough right on half-time. 30 seconds of the opening 45. There's barely been a stoppage in play tonight. And it is a free kick and a chance for Middlesbrough. Yeah, Hackney's just taking the ball and waiting for Bogle almost to fall into it.
Yeah, this is a good position to have a free kick, and it's 5-10 yards in from the byline, touchline.
Yeah.
Right on the angle for a right footer to swing it in across.
1 added on minute. Can Middlesbrough strike fear into Leeds United? 1-0 Leeds lead. This may well be the last attack of the half. Set piece wide on the left. Everybody in a Leeds shirt back on the edge of their own 18-yard box. Referee blows the whistle. Here they go now. It's a great ball into the 6-yard box, and it's cleared away. Another fantastic high-quality cross into the box. Dykestill's made a real mess of his clearance on halfway, and in the end, fortunate, it works its way out to the far side. But that, Neil Redfern, another ball that's just begging for someone in red to turn it in.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be looking at people like Tommy Conway and Kelechi Iheanacho. Get on the end of that. I mean, it's a fantastic ball. I mean, they faked the ball in the in-swinger on the right foot, and it's a left foot delivery. What a ball.
Here they go again, another ball from the left-hand side. Bergsorg far post, Firpo heads it down, picks up edge of the area, falls to Dijksteel, referee's blown the whistle, that's half-time. Much to the frustration of the Middlesbrough fans around us here at the Riverside. Leeds got off to a blistering start. In front inside 2 minutes. Dan James, after Firpo played a lovely ball that fed Solomon down the left. He rolled it into the 6-yard box. There was Dan James to turn it in. Middlesbrough thought they'd equalise. Tommy Conway, after a set piece wasn't cleared, it fell to him a couple of yards out. He drilled it into Darlow. It bobbled over the line, but the offside flag went up straight away. Then Iheanacho on the break had a great chance, fired over on 34 minutes. But Altanaka, he scored a goal. Solomon's cross turned in at the far post. He's given offside. Replay say he wasn't offside, wasn't even close in the end. But at the break, it is Middlesbrough 0, Leeds United 1. What have you made of the opening 45 minutes, Neil Redford?
Yeah, cracking. I mean, it's been a great game of football. I think Leeds have sort of split it between being confident and lacking in a little bit of confidence. But the value for the lead, I have to say, they took the goal superbly well. I think the wide play, for me, Leeds' wide players are the best wide players in the division by a mile, and we've seen that tonight. I just think Borough have just got to keep plugging away because they have created chances. I just think they just need a little bit more bodies in the box when they're in crossing positions, because they put some great balls in. But cracking game so far.
It is. At the break here, Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1. Elsewhere in the Championship, Derby 0, Burnley 0. Second half just kicked off there, and it's Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. So halfway through the night, and for Leeds United, it's looking pretty good. Results elsewhere going in their favour, but their main job here is to get the 3 points tonight. At the break, at the Riverside, it is Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Enjoy a tasty night in delivered to your door with McDelivery. 18 plus participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
Looking for specialist power tools? Then look no further than CEF Power Pro. Our next day delivery on over 3,000 products means you can get straight to work with top brands like Milwaukee, DeWalt and Makita. That's specialist tools for serious pros. We've got the power tools you need to work smart and get the job done. Visit cef.co.uk or your local branch today. CEF Power Pro. Engineered for power, built for pros.
Darren could get an offer from a random car dealer. Or sell direct to We Buy Any Car. The dealer could come to his home, kick his tyres, then decide not to buy it. Or he could get a guaranteed sale, leaving more time to take his other half on a romantic getaway. Oh no. Or ooh la la. To get a quote in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Interactive Investor has an ISA to suit you, whether you prefer to manage it yourself or have our experts do it for you. And with awards like the Times Money Mentor's Best Stocks and Shares ISA and a rating of excellent on Trustpilot, we really don't need a fancy orchestral jingle to convince you. Because the choice is obvious. Search Interactive Investor. Investment values can go down as well as up. You could get back less than you invest.
Make the most of longer, warmer days with Halford's biggest ever Easter sale. We've got up to 50% off loads of motoring and cycling products, like car cleaning, tools, bikes, cycling accessories and more. Pop into your local Halfords today. Halfords, keep on moving for less. Offers subject to availability, full T's and C's and exclusions apply. See halfords.com for details.
Have you ever wondered what becoming a lotto millionaire sounds like?
You want to sit down? I can confirm that you have won £1 million indeed.
That's Terry, finding out he'd won £1 million.
Oh my God.
Lotto from the National Lottery. Will you be the next millionaire? Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Where can you get the latest breaking sports news delivered with the laser-like accuracy of Michael Van Gogh? 1 hour and 80. And hear passionate opinions debated with the confident dexterity of Virgil van Dijk.
The Liverpool fans celebrate.
Answer on the radio show that's got the nation's sports fans buzzing like a Van de Graaff generator. Early breakfast with Shabana Hearn. Weekday mornings from 5 on Talksport with Adrian Flux Van Insurance. Insurance for the individual. Search Adrian Flux Van Insurance to find out more.
The Social with Adi Oladipo and Rory Jennings. Tomorrow afternoon from 3 on Talksport 2. Outspoken opinions and decisive debate following all the action.
We talk about football in a bipartisan and educated way. Well, I do at least.
I try.
News, views, fun and football fixtures.
It's not just football though, bit of boxing, bit of horse racing, even a bit of rugby.
And it's a try!
And some phenomenal guests.
If he can't get in this squad after showing the form he showed, I don't think it looks too good for him.
This is the place to be.
It's Addy and Rory. It's The Social on Talksport 2.
What a goal!
The Social.
Tomorrow afternoon from 3.
It just works, doesn't it? On Talksport 2.
So wallop it in the back of the net Wednesday night of European action as Aston Villa go marching into the Champions League quarter-finals to face Paris Saint-Germain. It all kicks off at 8. Live coverage of the quarter-finals of Champions League Wednesday night on Talksport. Kick it.
Hard-hitting football coverage.
He hits it first time. What a volley, what a goal.
Pushing the apex of live football.
And it's in.
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
Two teams coming out here. It is electric at the Riverside. Liverpool plays a great ball in. Solomon in down the left. He looks up, he feeds it into the 6-yard box and it's turned in. Dan James scores inside 2 minutes for Leeds United. It's a blistering start.
Coming in like all good wingers do at the back stick, Dan James to find the back of the net. Brilliant start for Leeds United.
Whipped in near post. It's not cleared by Leeds. It's there to be shot at and it's turned in.
Offside.
Turned in from close range when the offside flag has gone up to save Leeds. It was a defensive howler. And having seen the replay, Conway did look to be in an offside position. Solomon drives his way towards the penalty area. Whips in a ball. Great ball to the far post and it's turned in, but the offside flag's gone up. And I'm not so sure Al Tanaka was offside there. Leeds are furious. I'll tell you what, this will be interesting.
Just looking at it now, Mark.
He's onside. He's well onside.
Yeah.
That is a huge call. Leeds have been denied a second goal here. Make no mistake, one look, it was clear. Yeah, we've just seen that on the replay again. Tanaka clearly onside. Is it a decision that will haunt Leeds tonight and for the remainder of the season? We'll find out, but Leeds are deservedly in front. Dan James' 12th league goal of the season means at the break it's Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1. It was the late kickoff in the Championship. Let's guide you through what's going on elsewhere in the EFL. It's a busy night of action. Sheffield Wednesday lead 2-0 at Blackburn. Goalless in the big playoff match between Bristol City and West Bromwich Albion. Derby 0, Burnley 0 into the second half there. Still goalless Norwich against Sunderland. Preston 1, Cardiff 1 now. Cardiff have equalised there. Millwall still lead by a goal to 0 at Bramall Lane. It's goalless between Stoke and Luton and Watford and Hull. Into League One, Rotherham lead at Bolton by a goal to 0. Wigan have just scored down at Exeter. Exeter 0, Wigan 1. Huddersfield 0, Wickham 0. Mansfield 1, Leyton Orient 1. Peterborough 1, Birmingham 2. And Shrewsbury 1, Reading 1. In League 2, Chesterfield 0, Gillingham 1. In the Champions League, Arsenal 0-0 at the break with Real Madrid and Bayern 0, Inter Milan 1. Those are the latest scores as we have them here on Talksport 2 tonight. Don't forget all the goals as they're going. It's another huge week of footballing action across on the Talksport network, and that live action continues tomorrow night. The Talksport network will be coming to you live from the Parc des Princes in Paris as Aston Villa's European march continues as they prepare for a Champions League quarter-final.
History for all this brings, the players involved, the managers involved. This is the time, and this is the moment.
Left footed curved in and in. It's Watkins.
Everything's looking bright at Aston Villa and all the fans are buzzing.
It just feels like Villa have clicked into gear at the right time now.
It's a generation of Villa fans that have waited for a trophy.
Aston Villa in the Champions League, continuing to roll back the years. They are into the quarter-final.
The first tragedy I had when I arrived here was to be in Europe.
Watkins across to McGinn. What a start for Aston Villa. John McGinn.
They belong on this stage.
If there's anything that gives them a chance against PSG, is their ability to change a game.
Watch out, PSG. Aston Villa are coming for you.
Yeah, what a game tomorrow night. Neil Redfern, Aston Villa having a wow of a year, aren't they? Into the latter stages of the Champions League for the first time in an awful long time. They've got a tough one though against Paris Saint-Germain, who just look a different outfit to the Galacticos they've had in recent years.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think it's a fantastic achievement this season from Villa. You know, in some of the league games, it look like it's just caught up with them a little bit at times, but they keep finding another gear and picking points up. So, you know, they've got to be happy with the way things are going.
Yeah, well, ahead of the game, the Villa boss Unai Emery praised the impact that both Marcus Rashford and Marco Asensio have had on the team after arriving in the January transfer window.
January transfer windows, we did some very demanding change in our squad, because as well we were involving in the Champions League. We were getting rounds forward, and in Premier League as well we needed to get consistently better like we did. Of course, individually they are helping us, and they are going to use their experience as well to play against PSG those 2 legs. But the most important is how we are responding collectively, how we are individually helping the team and collectively feeling stronger and feeling confidence to play in the level we are facing tomorrow, for example, or even in Premier League, the challenge we have to be increasing our demands to be in the top 6, top 5.
Unai Emery there playing the arrival of Marcus Rashford and Marco Asensio, the impact he's had on his team. But Neil Redfern, how good a job has Unai Emery done at Aston Villa in such a short space of time?
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, the signing of Rashford was a masterstroke, to be honest with you, because you get happy Marcus Rashford on the pitch, then you've got, you know, a top player, you know, and he's leading from the front, which when he was at Man United you would have said that would never going to happen. He just looked flat, didn't look like it was going to happen for him, but he's got a new lease of life under Emery, and he's not the only one. You know, Ramsey and Rodgers, for me, I think they've come alive since he's come to the club, and he's getting the best out of good players, but he's making them into even better players.
Yeah, he is indeed. You can listen to Paris Saint-Germain against Aston Villa, Champions League quarter-final first leg tomorrow night. It's live on Talksport. Adrian Durham will be there alongside Jim Proudfoot and the former Villa captain Andy Townsend. Well, one man who can't wait for tomorrow evening is the former Villa striker Gabriel Bonlehorn, ahead of such a huge occasion in the French capital. He reflected on the journey that the club has been on under their manager Unai Emery.
They're stable now. You've got great owners who are spending the right amount of money. You've got a manager and a setup, a squad of players that's stable for seasons to come. And what he's done at this football club, Al, since Steven Gerrard, when he left, where Villa were, close to the relegation zone, got them into Europa League Conference in the first season, then one better, playing in Europa League Conference, got them into the top 4 above Spurs. And now this season, to get to the quarterfinals, further than Liverpool, further than Manchester City. Do you know what I mean? You have a chance to beat PSG over 2 games and maybe play a game against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Semi-final of the FA Cup, he's taken that seriously this season, and the squad of players he's built out. And January, he knew we have to get some top players in. We're going to sell Duran. Let's go and get some top players in. He's got Asensio in, 10 appearances, 8 goals, 1 assist. Rashford 11 appearances, 3 goals, 4 assists. Everything's looking bright at Aston Villa, and all the fans are buzzing.
Yeah, Gabriel Bonlehorn speaking there about his beloved Aston Villa. He had plenty to say about Leeds United this morning when he was on with Jeff Stelling. He will be back tomorrow. Talksport Breakfast back tomorrow live from 6 a.m. all the way from Paris. Alan Brazell, Alan McCoy and Gabriel Bonlehorn will be joined by Arsenal legend Emmanuel Petit following tonight's massive Champions League clash between Arsenal and Real Madrid, 0-0 at the moment. Plus they'll be building up to Villa's tie with Paris Saint-Germain, and also looking ahead to the start of the Masters with previous Masters runner-up Lee Westwood. That's all on Talksport Breakfast tomorrow at 6 a.m. What a week of sport we have got for you. I mean, another goal in the Championship. It's a big one as well in terms of the playoffs, because Bristol City lead West Bromwich Albion by a goal. So Blackburn have got a goal back against Sheffield Wednesday, but in the 2 real games that concern Leeds United elsewhere, Derby 0, Burnley 0, and it's Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. We'll keep you up to date with all the goals as they go in from around the EFL, and a lot to look forward to on the Talksport network, not only tomorrow night where we have got Paris Saint-Germain live against Aston Villa in that Champions League quarter-final. What about Thursday? We've got 3 games for you Legia Warsaw take on Chelsea in the Conference League quarter-final first leg. 5:45 kick-off for that. Joe Shannon and the former Chelsea defender Scott Mintar team for that one. Then we're off to France. Lyon take on Manchester United, Europa League quarter-final first leg. Alex Crook and Troy Deeney will be covering that one on Talksport. And on Talksport 2, it'll be Spurs against Frankfurt, Europa League quarter-final first leg. Jim Proudfoot and the Brentford defender Ben May are coming for that one. Then on Friday, we're back in the Championship. Burnley against Norwich, Hugh Woozencroft, Adam Bridge and Adrian Clark, our team on the ground at Turf Moor. Then Game Day Live, Man City against Palace is our 12:30 offering. Leeds Preston, live from the Championship. Every angle covered. If you've not got the Talksport app by now, you really should have. It's free and easy to use. It's available in all the usual places. Players coming out for the second half here at the Riverside, where it is Middlesbrough 0, Leeds United 1. Neil Redfern was talking me through the tactics that maybe Middlesbrough should employ. Neil, tell the listeners, what do you think they should do at half-time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the main one is just a high line that Borough have been playing. And I think that they've got to find some way of countering that with Leeds' width. I think that both sides are playing the same shape, 4-2-3-1, and I think that it's suiting Leeds far more than it's suiting Borough at this moment in time. If it were me, I'd be tempted to go 4-3-3, put a back forward three right up against that Leeds back line and stop the full-backs getting forward. It cuts half the supply line to the wide players then. But obviously it's much harder down there in the technical area, and obviously there's still all to play for Borough.
We're back underway. Middlesbrough in their red, Leeds in their dark blue shirts. Nothing changes at half-time team-wise, so Middlesbrough have Travers in goal, a back four, Dijksteel, House and Vandenberg and Illing Jr. Morris and Hackney holding with Bergzorg, Iheanacho and Azaz behind. Tommy Conway leading the line. And for Leeds, Darlow, Bogle, Rodon, Ampadu and Firpo, the back five. Gruyev and Tanaka, James Aronson, Solomon and Peru leading the attack for Leeds. All played forward by Firpo. Here is Gruyev trying to force it through. And the ball now collected and played forward by the keeper Travers. Looks a long ball forward towards Iheanacho. Jumped rather in hope than expectation, was nowhere near it. And the ball played back by Vandenberg. Peru will chase down Travers, who clears it right-footed towards halfway. 1-0 Leeds. Could and should have had a second, but whether that will be important at the end of play, we'll find out. Leeds concede the first free kick of the second half. How was your suit, Neil? All right?
Lovely, by the way. That's a good suit.
Graham Courtney, our colleague who's on Talksport tonight, all the goals as they go in, has gone all the way down the stairs and delivered magnificently. What a fella he is.
He is a great guy.
It is 1-0. Leeds just going to watch this out for a goal kick. What will Daniel Farquharson to his side then?
Well, I think that, much the same. He'll try and play on the fact that, they've got the noses in front. They've kept a good clean sheet that half. They've probably played the better football in regards to opening the opposition up. More effective football, should I say. And I think he'll be saying, look, much more of the same. Don't give these any encouragement. That's what he'll be saying. No square passes, no under-it back passes. Don't give free kicks away around the box.
Well, the referee's just blown his whistle here. Solomon has gone down. And he looks in a bit of pain, actually, Solomon. He's up on his feet now. Dijksteel's looking at him and say, what on earth's up with you? But
yeah, I think he just trod on his foot. These boots, they're made of paper. These modern boots.
Not like in your day, Neil.
No, proper leather. Nailed in studs. Go on, say it.
I'm not saying anything. Ball goes back to Travers away to our right-hand side. All fired in towards Hackney on the turn on halfway, surrounded by Leeds players. Iheanacho gets away over on the far side, but Leeds have got bodies back. But nice pass there from Dijksteel, finds Finn Azaz, who's on the turn, driving forward. Good challenge goes in from Tanaka. And now Leeds were looking to counter. Nowhere there for Aronson to go. He's out-muscled by Conway. Tanaka fires in, wins a big tackle, breaks for Gruyev. He pokes it forward to Joel Peru. He gets it away now. He's got Solomon on the left, but instead he'll go back towards Firpo, and Leeds won it there. Tanaka showing why he's a big fan favourite for Leeds. He wins a tackle there, maybe no right to win.
Yeah, he does all that stuff really, really well. He's really thorough. You know, he's excellent in his position. Just comes from behind the ball, difficult to get to press. Every now and again he pops up with a goal or two, but he's been a fantastic signing for Leeds so far.
He has. West Brom have got a quick equaliser against Bristol City. Bristol City 1, West Brom 1. Teams 6th and 8th in the table coming into tonight's games. Leeds were 3rd. As it stands, they're going top because Burnley are being held at Derby and Sheffield United behind at home to Millwall. Ball played across field for Bogle. It's a great ball. Can Bogle bring it down? He controlled it, but it rather bounced up off the turf here. So he goes back towards Joe Roden. Roden gets it away. The boos are because Leeds are singing Marching On Together over on that far side. See what, there might only be 3,000 of them. They're making plenty of noise.
Yeah, they're 1-0 up. It's amazing what a goal does.
Here now on the turn is Solomon. Lays it back. Gruyev hits it away.
This is a long spell of possession from Leeds, by the way. They've had little moments like this where they've done quite well at this.
Here's James, cuts in off the right touchline, driving towards goal. He's got a runner in Firpo, feeds it to Firpo, just had to wait for the pass, feeds it towards Joe Peru, turn, great save Travers. Bogle was unmarked on the 6-yard box and the cross is put behind for a corner, but the turn from Peru right in front of goal, and it's a great save Travers, still 1-0.
Yeah, what a run by Dan James. He must have gone across what a good 4 or 5 red shirts before releasing that ball. It's a great little give and go. Does well there, Peru, feels his man, just rolls him slightly, and what a fantastic save by Travers. Keeps his team in it, to be honest.
Yeah, made himself big. Short corner Leeds. Work it towards the edge of the area. Is the shot going to come in? It's driven into a sea of bodies. Firpo couldn't get the shot away. Leeds have won it back with Solomon, edge of the area. Cleared away only as far as James. Middlesbrough panicking. Here come Leeds again. Ball breaks back to James. He runs through one, gets it away to Ampadu. Here's Solomon, crosses. Aronson's touch was a little bit heavy. Tried a couple of kick-ups, but couldn't get the shot away. And Middlesbrough now will break. And a crunching tackle from Ampadu. It's a good job he missed the ball, and the man he'd have been in trouble there as Conway skips away from him. Here's Iheanacho. Good challenge from Tanaka. Breaks up a promising Middlesbrough attack. And now Leeds going the other way until Hackney, with a rugby tackle, brings down the Leeds player. It's end to end. And this is what we're going to get, Neil, because Middlesbrough need points. They've got to get at least a point tonight. And they're giving it everything to try and break on Leeds.
Yeah, they've shown much more intensity this half in the beginning. I think from Leeds' point of view, they're just aware of them little lulls in the game where they can connect passes and try and probe and work. But they still know they've got the pace in the wide players to get it into them and get it down the sides, because that's what's causing Borough the problem.
All played forward by Leeds. They lead by a goal to 0. 6 gone second half. Crossfield pass finds James. 25 yards out from goal, right of the penalty area. Skips in again onto his left foot. Tries to put the cross in towards Solomon. Dijksteel knees it away from danger. Gruyev will bring it down, finds Firpo. Here's Solomon on the half turn. Can he get the cross in? Turns away from Dijksteel. Back to Firpo. Here now is Tanaka, 25 yards out. Tries to slide rule it through. It'll break here back to Tanaka. We know he can hit them from distance. He scored a couple of great goals for Leeds. He scored one tonight that didn't count, though. He wins it back again, Tanaka. But eventually Middlesbrough will get it away with Dijksteel.
Yeah, they broke play up quite well, to be fair, Bury, you know. They keep getting a toe in and keep getting a block. Just need to connect that pass. If they can get 2 or 3 passes, when they regain it, they're out.
Ball with Finazaz. Now Vandenberg, the one change from the win at Blackburn on Friday Night Live on Talksport 2. Ball works its way forward. Milling Jr. gets it back to Morris. Morris finds Howson, who finds Morris again. Leeds just happy to sit on halfway and say to Middlesbrough, you can do what you want with it there. That's no harm to us at all.
Look at the distances between Leeds' units, though, Mark. And the back line, they're almost saying, go on and throw it in, we're favourites.
Yeah, well, Middlesbrough have been patient. Here's Illing Jr. Oh, he's sliced it behind. He's played pretty well tonight, Sam Illing Jr., but he just got that one wrong. And it relieves the pressure behind for a goal kick to Leeds. Still 1-0.
It'd have been good for him to make Dan James defend there, because he's done a lot of work, Dan James. They've gone past Bogle at right back. Could have driven into the box and asked Dan James a question. Do you want to come with me?
Well, we talk about elite level sport being about fine margins. They're analysing the goal on the TV, Neil, and Illing Jr. not really a fullback by trade.
No.
He's got an international speedster up against him, and he just half a yard too slow, and that let Dan James in for the goal, and that's the fine margins we talk about, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, and even back to, you know, when you're coaching youngsters at that level, you know, if you close your body off, you can't see what's behind you. And as that ball starts to come off, he's closed. Illing Jr. is closed. He can't see where Dan James is. And as soon as he opens himself up, it's too late because he's coming across the front of him and his favourite.
Yeah. I guess it's... Oh, here's James again. He's been played in. He's beat Illing Jr. He's into the area. This will put Leeds 2 up. Oh, he's crossed it across goal. If he shoots, he surely scores, and he crossed it in front of Peru and Solomon, and it's behind for a goal kick. He didn't shoot, he didn't cross it, he did neither.
No, it was neither. You're exactly right, Mark. I mean, if it had just rolled that across the box, 2 could have put it in, but if you're going to shoot, go with some conviction. But he's got that blistering pace, mate. I mean, he's run him into the ground, Illing Jr. He has played well and he's stuck at it, but he's no match.
But again, the problem there is Rodon is going to head the ball away. It should be collected by Middlesbrough. Yeah. The problem is Illing Jr. there's defending on halfway, and Dan James has got 40 yards of space to run into.
Exactly. You know, what is important is that the wide players work. The wide players have done nowhere near enough work tonight for me, Azaz and Bergson.
They've all looked isolated, haven't they? All the Beatles were attacking, all 4 of them.
I mean, if I were playing fullback, I'd be on the case. Get back in here. You know, you get yourself back in here and you pick up.
Yeah, I'm just wondering myself. I think Dan James should have shot there. Well, you say that, but if he'd have crossed it, it was a simple cross. It was a 10-yard cross, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. But you know what, Mark? He showed him a lot of goal, did Travis? He showed him a lot of goal.
Any kind of shot to the far post you feel would have gone in. Preston in front against Cardiff. 2-1 there. Still Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1, and it's still goalless. Derby Burnley. Here it's 1-0 to Leeds. Goal disallowed in the first half. Wrongly. Huge chance missed in the second half, and Travers has made a quality save as well. It's all been down that end of the field, but Borough only a goal behind as they look to break down this end of the field. And here now is Illing Jr. Finds Rav van den Berg. Get the feeling in the next, well, there's probably about 20 minutes plus a bit of added on time left at Derby and at Sheffield United. They may well be twists and turns there. Illing Jr. now has seen off Bogle. He's to the byline. He drills it across goal. Big chance arriving now. Oh, no, it's blazed over the top. Finners as it was. He's got all the time in the world. He has a touch and he still sends it into orbit. Middlesbrough 1. Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to do better. He's got to at least make Carl Darlow work. You know, from that effort, you don't need a goalkeeper in. But what a great run, to be fair, from Illing Jr. Pushed it down the line, worked his man. Great ball into the box. First touch was good. Just got to keep it down at the target, make him work.
He's 15 yards out. He's about 6-7 yards to the right of goal. Yeah. He has put it fully 10-15 yards over the top.
Listen, I was always told as a player, when you're shooting at goal, it's like cricket, ball at the wickets. If you ball at the wicket, shoot it. They miss, you it.
Ball played in towards the penalty area. Rodon heads it away. Ball on the edge of the area. Played out wide. Here now is a chance for Bergzorg. Better from Middlesbrough. Out for a throw-in. So both teams have had chances. Leeds will feel they should have had at least 2 goals, but Borough have had a goal disallowed themselves marginally, but it was correctly ruled out for offside, but it was only just offside. And then that chance there, Nacho had a similar chance first half when he blazed over as well.
Yeah, they've just lacked a little bit of quality in final third.
Here now is Hackney, feeds it in, big chance now. Shot goes across goal from Bergzorg. It was a tight angle, he hit it hard, he hit it first time, and he's pulled it through the 6-yard box. But the crowd are responding because Borough are having a right old go at it here. 58 gone, still 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that's a decent effort, to be fair. I mean, what you've been saying there, the opposite wide player, Finn Azaz, he's got to be sliding in at the back stick. You know, and if he misses it, fair dues, you can't do any more. I mean, he's smacked this for the far corner, but you've got 2 chances there. If the wide player's backing it up, it's a gimme at the back stick.
Yeah, just hit it a little bit too well. He didn't hit it where he wanted it to go, Bergzorg.
He hit it a bit straight.
Yeah, he did.
That was the thing.
Yeah. Here now is Hackney. Michael Carrick getting a little bit more animated at pitch side because his team are starting to have a go here, and more trouble down the right as they skip forward with Bergzorg looking for support from Dijksteel. He gets it away now. Ball laid back here. Conway waits in the middle. Is he going to get any service? He's not really had a lot into that penalty area tonight, but he's got 12 goals. Is he going to add to that tally here? Here now is Illing Jr. again. Level with the edge of the penalty area. A couple of step overs onto his right foot. Plays it in. Here is a chance for Conway. Didn't get the power of the shot. Falls for Hackney, and it's straight at Darlow. Hit it pretty well. If that goes either side, Darlow's got a problem. As it is, it's a comfortable save.
Yeah, it's a nice one for him, isn't it? But he's got to save it. But that's the first time we've probably seen Darlow to make a save. I can't remember many other shots where he's had to get involved. But this is a better spell from Borough.
Nice to cheer at half-time. I think Leeds need a second goal here. I think they will concede second half. And Middlesbrough have shown plenty. And here's James going the other way. Gambles, but Vandenberg is across quickly. Feeds it to Travers, hits it straight to Aronson. Aronson 25 yards out, looks to exchange passes with Solomon. Lays it back to Tanaka. Back to Solomon. Pass was overhit. And in there was Azaz to break things up. And Borough looked to counter. And there's a foul off the ball there by Joe Perreault. Brings down Aidan Morrison. Maybe rather fortuitously that was not called as a yellow card. There's been a big goal at the Emirates in the Champions League, and it's Arsenal who leads at home against Real Madrid. Declan Rice with a goal. Arsenal 1, Real Madrid 0. Here it's 1-0 to Leeds United. Elsewhere, still as you were, Derby 0, Burnley 0, Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. This game far from over, far from decided. Good turn here, Nacho. Here's Hackney now. Oh, just overhits the pass. Conway was in on goal, but he just fizzed the pass across the turf. And Darlow was out to claim it. Frustration as Darlow then hits the ball out of play. There is a Leeds player down, and this will just slow it down even further here.
I'm just looking at that. I'm just thinking there, Mark. It breaks clear brilliantly. It just ricochets and sits up for him, lovely, Hackney. And he drives with it. And I'm just looking at Tommy Conway's movement. It's a little bit straight. So what it does is it makes his pass straight. If he opens his movement right up and gives him a margin of error, because an angle ball doesn't run through to Darlow. There's these fine things that they're just missing out on at the moment, Borough.
Yeah, they are. Plenty of goals in League One tonight. Still Rotherham 1, Bolton 0. Exeter have equalised at home to Wigan, 1-1 there. Wickham have scored at the John Smith. Huddersfield 0, Wickham 1. Mansfield 2, Leyton Orient 3. Peterborough 1, Birmingham 2. And Shrewsbury 1, Reading 3. Still 1-0 Gillingham League, Chesterfield in League 2. Confirmation, Arsenal 1, Real Madrid 0. Bayern 0, Inter Milan 1. Both latest scores in the Champions League quarter-final first leg. And remember, tomorrow night, Villa at Paris Saint-Germain, live on Talksport. All the build-up with Adrian and the team. Here's Hackney starting to find some gaps, starting to drive forward. Plays a beautiful ball. Bergzorg into the area. Bergzorg on goal. Darlow chested it away. And Bogle bundles it over his own crossbar and behind for a corner. Great run from Bergzorg. Did everything he could, but Darlow made himself big to keep it out.
Yeah, he's starting to wake up a little bit, Bergzorg. That's a fantastic run. Great ball inside the fullback. They're actually doing to Leeds what Leeds did to Borough in the first half. That ball inside, runner onto it. It's a good save again from Darlow.
Short corner, work to the edge of the box. They need to keep the momentum going. Here's Hackney now, looking to tease a ball through. Does it the second attempt, headed away Ampadu. Only as far as Morris. Chesterfield have equalised at home to Gillingham. It's 1-1 there. But Hayden Hackney starting to orchestrate this game in the centre of the field for Middlesbrough. Red shirts flooding forward. We've had 62 minutes. They're trying to go down that far side. Illing Jr. popped up on the wrong side to the position he was playing earlier on. But Leeds have it, and Leeds will look to work their way out of a tight spot. And they do that by playing it into space. And now the ball's teased onto Bogle. Bogle's over halfway. Is this going to be a ruthless counter-attack from Leeds? Bogle now into the Borough penalty area. Stops just to take stock of what's in front of him. Waiting for support to arrive. Feeds it into the path of James, who drills it across goal. He's put too much juice on that one. It was about 8 foot high, the cross, and it goes straight out of play on the far side. Still 1-0 Leeds.
Yeah, lacking a little bit of quality there. All he's got to do is roll that along the floor around the 6-yard box. Somebody side foots that in. Just trying to whip the perfect ball in, Dan James. Great break by Leeds. Good play by Aronson to open himself up. Great spot to find him in midfield. Worked the way out of trouble well.
And at the other end, Borough have given the ball away right on their corner flag. Last 10 minutes, 5 shots to 0 in favour of Middlesbrough.
Yeah. Well, they wanted a response. They needed a response, to be honest, from that first half. It's a little bit flat. I think he's had a response, to be fair, Michael Carrick. It's just how long he waits before he starts introducing some subs.
Well, I think he's going to bring one on now, Neil. I think he's got Morgan Whittaker stripped and ready to go.
Yeah.
He's getting some instructions. Michael Carrick deciding, 64 in, that he needs to just freshen things up a little bit. Better second half. Solomon chases a ball forward that landed on the head of Howson and then gets it back to Travers, who just hoofs it first time up towards halfway. You're live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson, Neil Redfern here at the Riverside. It's Leeds who lead by a goal till I'm amazed we've not had more goals. Ball given away though. Here come Leeds now. Joe Perreault in on goal. To the left, pulls it back and dissects 2 rushing Leeds attackers. He just had to find one of them. It would have been a walk-in for Leeds.
Yeah.
Are they going to be made to pay here, because they're wasting some big opportunities now?
I tell you what, brilliant play by Tanaka. They broke brilliantly. Borough got right to the halfway line and he read it. Just got himself across 15 yards just to hold play up, and that crossfield pass is cut out. You know, he does a lot of unnoticed things there, Tanaka, but he's a top performer in midfield.
Yeah, he is. Quality operator. And now here comes the change, and it's Iheanacho who goes off. So Kelechi Iheanacho makes way. And it is going to be Morgan Whittaker who comes on. He's not really got involved, has he, enough Iheanacho tonight?
No, I mean, they don't seem to me like a side that sort of plays in towards a 10. Looks like they've gone 4-4-2 as well now with 2 up top. They may as well go for it.
Yeah. They haven't got... Conway's got 12 league goals tonight. He's barely had a touch in the penalty area.
Yeah, he's not had a sniff, really.
No, he's not.
He's worked hard.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
He's not gone missing. They can't find him.
Yeah.
Wasn't a criticism at all.
Yeah, I just think he's looked a little bit isolated as well. I can't see the support for him. And obviously, Kelechi Iheanacho was the 10 in behind him, and he needed supporting.
England women have lost 3-2 to Belgium in the Women's Nations League. Free kick given away. Middlesbrough thought they'd run it back with Finn Azaz. Aronson crumpled in the tackle.
That's a good tackle in my book. Got the ball.
Watford lead Hull by 1-0. Vicarage Road. Aronson's on his knees. Michael Carrick looks on. Tells him to get up and get on with it. Well, he got the ball, didn't he? I guess the only question, did he get a bit of Aronson on the way through?
Just looking at Brendan Aronson, you know, I mean, I know a lot of Leeds fans are a little bit not, you know, jury's out about him, but he works his socks off. So you know what you're going to get. He occupies the opposition, he chases back, he does the stuff that are non-negotiables. And it's important because, you know, it stops teams playing through midfield, makes it difficult for him, gets his team up the pitch.
Well, I don't think there's ever been a criticism of his work rate, have there? I think he's missed a few opportunities and maybe made a few errors, but here they're going forward again. Here is Perreault trying to feed Aronson in. He's in on the edge of the area. The ball was nicked away from him just in the nick of time. Illing Jr. puts it behind for a goal kick, says the referee.
That's a strange one, isn't it?
Yeah, it looked like the Borough player put it behind, but now the referee, as Leeds are about to make a double change. Willie Gnonto is coming on, but first it is Sam Byram who's coming on for Manasol. Well, he's coming on for Joe Firpo. And Manor Solomon is coming off for Willie Gnonto. So it's a double change for Leeds. So Daniel Farker has wasted no time here in responding to Michael Carrick's change as Sam Byram and Willie Gnonto come on. A lot of Leeds fans and journalists thought that Willie Gnonto was a little bit unlucky to be dropped or left out after the weekend, but he is back in now with 22 minutes remaining here. Junior Firpo makes way.
Yeah, I think Daniel Farker's just probably sensed that, you know, they've not got the total control they had, or the control they had in the first half. And they found their way back in this game, but they looked a little bit more menacing. Makes sense to put fresh legs on with 10 to go.
Yeah, well, there's a little bit longer than that. 22 left here. They're into the last 10 though in games at Derby. 0-0 with Burnley. And Sheffield United 0. Millwall 1. Here it's 1-0 to Leeds. Bogle has a throw in. We've got 5 more games left in the Championship season. It is going to be nervy. Nonto, nice first touch, finds James. Gets it back to Nonto. He's done really well there. 2 really good touches in tight situations. That'll calm him straight down. Italian international. Ball back to Joe Rodon, Welsh international. Edge of his own area. Feeds it to Jayden Bogle. Bogle plays it forward. He's looking for a runner. Ball's clipped away by Hilling Jr., who knows he's been in a game tonight. He's been up and down that touchline.
I tell you what, he's give as good as he's got though. You know, he's done a lot going the other way for his team. You just don't come up against people like Dan James that often.
No, you don't. But he's a Villa loanee. If he wants to play in the Premier League, he's going to have to get used to it, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's here to learn, and he's learning on the job. Here now is Bogle. Has it just inside his own half. We'll go back to Joe Rodon.
I think, like you, Mark, here, there's a twist in this. I've just got a feeling.
I think Borough have been pretty wasteful in front of goal, but Hackney's won it on the edge of the area. Gets it away here. It's fed in. Oh, he stumbles on it. Leeds survived. They played into trouble. And now Bergzorg trying to win it back. Aronson's got away from him. Play on, says the referee. Bergzorg made the tackle, but it breaks to Byram. Leeds so fortunate there on the edge of their own box. Azaz couldn't get the shot away. And now Willie Nonto has it. Feeds it to Byram. Can he find Joe Perreault? Edge of the area. Slides it into the box and it's cleared away.
It's that final thing in it for both sides. Just really struggling to find that final pass to make the difference.
It's still 1-0 Leeds. Now Dan James has gone down. Has he cramped up? Has he run out of petrol? There's something wrong.
Yeah, they'll be worried about that. They don't want him injured.
Tommy Conway's come across and said, are you sure you don't want to go off, Dan? Why don't you get off for it? Why don't you go have a sit down for 20 minutes?
I'll put a red shirt on.
Well, they are going to have to make a change here. I think Patrick Bamford's about to come on. So this, hopefully, is not a problem for Dan James, but he's down getting treatment at the moment. And this, if he is injured, would be a problem. And Joe Rodon's just come across to check he's okay.
Yeah, it's his knee by the look of it. He's just rotating it now. He's laid on the floor with his leg in the air.
Well, they'll be doing the tests they need to do. Let's hope this is nothing. In fairness, he doesn't look in a great deal of pain, does he?
No.
He's just down.
He might have just caught his studs in the grass or twisted funny. I just think he's got such pace and it's so important to Leeds that anything at all, you'd wrap him in cotton wool.
Well,
particularly
he
in this
had that chance, second half, driving in on goal. He shoots, I think he scores. Yeah. If he crosses it, Leeds score. And in the end, he just like half hit a shot come cross straight past everybody.
Yeah, it was nothing. It was a nothing shot in the end. I mean, his pace devastates teams, and he gets in such good positions. Really, you know, if his end product could match his build-up and his pace, he'd have 30 goals a season. You think?
Blackburn have levelled up against Sheffield Wednesday. They were 2-0 down. Now what about this for a scoreline? Arsenal 2, Real Madrid 0. Declan Rice with his second of the night. Change about to be made. Dan James comes off. Joel Perreault comes off. Bamford and Schmidt come on. So Daniel Farker is wasting no time here, making his changes. Patrick Bamford, who had a spell here at Middlesbrough, of course.
Also going on for number 10, Joel Perreault.
His last goal came in April last year in a 4-3 win at the Riverside.
Yeah, he's not had much luck, has he, with injuries?
Going on number 9, Patrick Bamford.
Yeah, a few boos. They don't like him in this part of the world, do they?
They did well for Borough.
Yeah. Well, he's getting a good ovation from the Leeds fans. He's had a lot of injuries, hasn't he, Patrick Bamford? Yeah. His time has been limited.
Yeah, it's difficult, you know, if you get to that point and trying to come back from injury, it's mentally tough.
Yeah. I mean, it sums it up for him. He'd been out for a while, and then he came back and he got injured celebrating a goal and then missed another few months. Here's Finn Azaz, plays in a nice ball to Conway, lays it back for Hackney. Is he going to let fly from 25 yards? He went for the curler, and it lacked any conviction, and it allowed Darlow just to amble across to his far post and watched it go harmlessly by. Still 1-0 Leeds. I will be amazed, Neil Redford, if we do not get another goal in this match.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's a decent build-up again from Borough. You know, they've not been at the best. Don't get me wrong, but they've done enough to get in front of goal and at least have a goal at this moment.
Oh, Leeds, Byram slipped, and I think he's handled that ball on the ground. Now, surely he's got to get booked for that, Sam Byram. Well, it's not Byram, it's the Middlesbrough player who got booked.
He's booked him for making that gesture, you know, that booking gesture.
Yeah, he's done it, you're right.
Now he's booked him.
And now he'll book the deliberate handball from Sam Byram, who's only been on the field a couple of minutes. Sam Byram in the book. It is 1-0 to Leeds here. But who can get the second goal? Will it be Leeds who go on? Or will it be Middlesbrough get an equaliser? They're in added on time. Derby 0, Burnley 0. Last minute, Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. West Brom down to 10. 1-1 at Bristol City. Added on time there. The late kick-off here. We've still got 15 remaining. Middlesbrough have got a free kick wide on the right. They trail a goal to 0. They're going to look to swing it in here. Live on Talksport 2 as they chase a valuable equaliser. Finn Azaz going to deliver the ball now, whipped in towards Darlow, comes out and punches decisively. It gets out of the area, then it's missed and the break is on. Schmidt goes away, he's got Aronson with him. If he looks up at Nonto, he's played it to Nonto. Finn Azaz tracking back, Nonto into the edge of the area, ball break for Bamford. He scored, but the flag went up really late. He just ran too soon. Well, I'll tell you what, it's tight.
I think he is, though.
I think, yeah, mine like you. Gut reaction was he was offside, but there wasn't a lot in it.
No. Yeah.
I'm not convinced here. You have a look. I'm not convinced the assistant was up with play there.
Right. Shouldn't really be guessing then, should he? But
well, it is a break from inside the half. Play goes on.
Yeah,
Middlesbrough have it.
Schmidt did brilliant there. Made the right decision, picked the right one out.
Well, here they go again. Leeds here. He's onside. Nearly's onside. They've had 2 goals disallowed.
Wow.
The linesman on the near side was a mile behind the play. The break was so quick. Just in a replay, Leeds have had 2 goals ruled out that were both onside. If they do not win the game here tonight, well, there will be no repercussions because there's nothing they can do about it. But the repercussions on the field may be that Leeds miss out on the Premier League at the end of the season. Who knows?
Them 2 decisions as well are not difficult decisions to make, are they? You know, in free play.
In fairness, Leeds have broke, within 6 seconds, one box to the other. The assistant couldn't keep up with play. The gut reaction with you is, I thought he'd just gone a yard too soon, but having seen the replay, Neil, he's onside.
Yeah, he is on.
Wow. 2 goals ruled out. Bamford and Tanaka. It's still 1-0. Is there going to be a vicious twist in the tail here?
Well, they'll be definitely talked about those 2 disallowed goals if Borough do get an equaliser.
Well, Cardiff have got an equaliser in added on time at Preston. Preston 2, Cardiff 2. Added on time, Bramall Lane. Still Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. And Derby 0, Burnley 0. Daniel Farkas, he'll have seen the replay. He knows his side here have been robbed of 2 goals. Here now is Finn Azaz, starting to see more of the ball. Middlesbrough will commit more bodies forward. Ball played over the top here. They're looking to try and work Illing down the near side, but Bogle's done a good job there.
Yeah, great defending. Just got there, stood up, big. Oh, aye.
A bad back pass from Rav Vandenberg. It's going out from a corner from 5 yards inside his own half. Leeds get gifted a corner. They lead by a goal to 0, but they've had goals ruled out in either half. Tanaka on 34 minutes turned in a Solomon cross, and then Bamford played in on goal by Willie Nonto. Scores. We're just getting another replay of it here. He's onside. He's onside.
There's about 3 yards onside.
What a great finish, by the way.
It was a great finish.
But it won't count. He ran away to celebrate. And I think if we got an angle from above, you'll see that the assistant is nowhere near in line with play. He has guessed at that, in my opinion, and he's got it wrong. Corner for Leeds. Whipped in towards the near post. Headed away. Aronson had a bit of a flight. Falls to Nonto. Volleys it over the top. No real power in it. They're into the 95th minute. Derby 0, Burnley 0. Luton have equalised it. Stoke in added on time. 1-1 there. Sheffield United still behind at home to Millwall. As it stands, Leeds are going top of the Championship. It's finished. Norwich 0, Sunderland 0. Sunderland in the top 6 now. Had a bit of a blip before the international break, but have responded really well. Their game is done. Here, this is far from done. 12 left on Talksport 2. Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1. Leeds controversially had 2 chalked off. Here now is Hackney. Feeds it to Azaz. Azaz back to Hackney. Shot cleared. It's going to fall here. Fired across goal by Bergzorg. Wow.
I tell you what, they've missed some chances this half.
Well, Bogle's actually done well to get out of the way of that, because if it hits him on the knee, it probably goes in his own net, and somehow he managed to get out. Bristol City have scored in the 96th minute. They've won it surely against West Bromwich Albion. Bergzorg sprints off the field. Marcus Force comes on to replace him as Michael Carrick now rolls the dice. 11 minutes remaining. But they've had chances there. I think Hackney's the main man for Middlesbrough. Yeah. He can make anything happen.
Yeah, I was on about him before to Graham, and I think that, you know, he's got the experience now as well, and the know-how in midfield. He's been exceptional tonight.
He has. Game's coming to a conclusion around the EFL as Bamford does well. Can he feed it to Aronson? No, feed it to Sam Byram. Do feel there's another goal in this game as the ball is played back, and Birmingham in their race for promotion have got the 3 points they needed at Peterborough. Here it's 1-0 and it's far from over. They're into 8 minutes added on time at Derby against Burnley. So Birmingham, with that win, are promoted to the Championship. Short stay in League One, and they'll meet Peterborough at Wembley at the weekend. What a week it could be for them. Well, I know it's doom and gloom when your team gets relegated, but if you do come straight back up, it makes for a great year after.
I was just going to say, Matt, I mean, this is a fantastic reset for them. You know, with the advent of the investment that's gone into the club, they're probably far better equipped now in the Championship.
Yeah, they will be. Bristol City have beaten West Brom with an injury time winner. West Brom down to 10 for the closing stages. Here it's 1-0 and it's all to play for. Can Middlesbrough get a vital point? They work it forward with Azaz. Schmidt makes the tackle. Out Tanaka back facing his own goal. Darlow smacks it as hard and far as he can. Bamford will give chase up against Howson. Howson comes up with a ball. He now heads off the other way. There's no doubt here Middlesbrough are going to go for broke, and they may well end up conceding by gambling for an equaliser. But they're coming forward again. They have it again. Edge of the area. Block tackle made. And the ball played out to Nonto, but he can't keep it in. It's too high.
Brilliant play by Johnny Howson. Evaded 2 or 3 challenges like an attacking midfield player, but he is a midfield player playing at centre-back, but brilliant by him.
Closing stages, Derby 0, Burnley 0. It's ended at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United have lost again. Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. So Leeds will leap above them. They're into the 9th minute of added on time at Derby, where Burnley are being held at the moment. It's finished at Derby. It's 0-0. So if Leeds win here, they're going back to the top with 5 games to go. But they've got 8 minutes plus added on time to survive. And you'll hear it all live here on Talksport 2 as Finn Azaz, who's grown into the game second half, has it wide on the right-hand side. Looks to play it in now, gets it back. Azaz drives it into the 6-yard box. Bogle dummied it, and Conway didn't turn it in at the far post. Bogle knew he couldn't have a touch. Here's Illing Jr. Cross comes shot. It works out nicely. Ball falls edge of the box. Shot comes in. Headed away by Rodon. Bamford being impeded trying to get to the ball. Vandenberg beats him to it. Middlesbrough come forward again. Howson now might as well play midfield. He drives forward again. Ball midway inside the Leeds half. Howson on the attack for Middlesbrough. Edge of the seat stuff. Ball thumped away. Leeds have got everybody back, so all they're doing is giving the ball back at the moment.
Well, they can't get up the pitch. That's the problem they've got.
He said it. Bristol City 2, West Brom 1, Derby 0, Burnley 0, Norwich 0, Sunderland 0, Preston 2, Cardiff 2, Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1, Stoke 1, Luton 1, and Watford 1, Hull 0. Here it's 1-0 to Leeds, as we've got 7 minutes plus added on time to go. Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern live here at the Riverside, where you can't help but feel there's going to be some late drama here. Ball edge of the box, Borough have it. Feed it through, looking for fours, it's cleared away. And once again, anywhere will do. You're listening to Middlesbrough against Leeds in the EFL Championship, live on Talksport 2 at McDonald's. Or the McDelivery on the app and get rewards points. 18 plus, participate in restaurant delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com for more information.
Yes, very much last-ditch defending now for Leeds.
And now those two disallowed goals from Tanaka and Bamford, both were onside. How crucial may that be? Schmidt holds off Filling Jr. Feeds it to Bamford, looks for an out ball. Bamford goes to ground. He knew the tackle was coming from Vandenberg. Good play. And he buys the foul.
Good play by Bamford. Schmidt's been really impressive since he's come on. Had 2 or 3 really good moments. Got pace, gets his team up the pitch, defends well.
In League 1, Bolton 0, Rotherham 1, Exeter 1, Wigan 1, Huddersfield 0, Wycombe 1, Mansfield 2, Leyton Orient 3. Birmingham are promoted, 2-1 winners over Peterborough, and Shrewsbury have lost 3-1 at home to Reading. Chesterfield 1, Gillingham 1. Arsenal have got a third goal now. Arsenal 3, Real Madrid 0 in the Champions League. That's updates to that over on Talksport. Bayern 0 into 1. But how can you turn this off? It's edge of your seat stuff. Burnley fans, Sheffield United fans will be in the car, wondering if Middlesbrough can do them a favour. Leeds have had 2 goals chalked off that were both onside, having seen the replay. There's a Leeds player down holding his face here. Referee's played on. I think he's going to tell Aronson to get on with. Aronson maybe should have stayed down. Now he gets up, so play will go on. Illing Jr. advances. Dan James put Leeds in front inside 2 minutes here at the Riverside. Conway had a goal chalked off for offside. He was just offside. That was before Al Tanaka turned in from a yard out, and replay showed he was well onside when he made his run into the box. And we've just seen Bamford on the break score, and same again, onside when the ball was played, denied by the offside flag. Controversy here if Middlesbrough get an equaliser. Ball now coming forward.
This is a much better spell from Borough, much more controlled.
Here now goes Morris. Tries to draw players towards him. Ball works its way now to Hackney. Hackney turns, looks to feed it in. It's hammered away. Leeds are not putting anybody on halfway, so they're going to go. Here now comes Travers all the way up to the halfway line. Bayern have equalised late on against Inter. Bayern 1 into 1. Here Middlesbrough looking for an equaliser now. 4 minutes remain of the 90. We'll have some added on time. Been a few more stoppages in this second half. Leeds are penned in. Can they hang on? Clean sheets have been a problem. Darlow hasn't had a great deal to do. Ball fed in. Aronson will mop up edge of the area. Bamford back to Aronson. Good tackle goes in. Vandenberg. They're barely playing with any defenders at the moment, Middlesbrough. No. They're all staying forward. Here they are now with Hackney. He's got a mound in the red shirts here. Gets the ball away. Shot comes in and it's blazed over in the end. Whittaker hit it first time, but it was too high, and Darlow's dive was one for the cameras rather than one worried the ball was going in the corner of the net.
Yeah, and never really looked like he was going to get that on target. He's leaning back, falling away as he strikes it. Good defensive play by Leeds. It's just how they get up the pitch when they regain it. You know, they've got absolutely nobody up there now, but they're really tracking men, putting the bodies on the line. They've got this game measured in their heads, and all they've got to do is make that clock tick on, keep that clean sheet.
There's been 4 draws elsewhere, 5 draws in the Championship tonight. Is there going to be another one here? Leeds will be hoping not. Ball played to Bamford. Bamford races forward. He's going to keep this in. Right on the touchline by the right-hand corner flag. Not going to do anything fancy. Pokes it for Schmidt, who's a willing runner. He's back to the corner flag, but he's let it go out. Doing better letting that go out for a throw-in, really, wouldn't he? But he's let it out for a goal kick.
Yeah, just looking at the keeper, Travers is desperately trying to get the ball back to get his team going again.
Middlesbrough come forward again. 2.5 remain. You're live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern as Daniel Farker's about to put on Griavogi. for the last few minutes. As it stands, Leeds are top. They jump above Burnley on goal difference. Burnley have finished. They drew 1-1 tonight. Sheffield United beaten again. Don't forget, Burnley meet Sheffield United at Turf Moor on Easter Monday. It's live on Talksport Network. Here come Middlesbrough again. Whittaker's cross deflected dangerously. Rodon heads it up in the air. Keeper doesn't come and collect it. Ampadu heads it away. And it's all the way out over on the far side. Recycled back to Howson. The pressure building. You can feel it in this stadium now. Can Middlesbrough get a valuable equaliser? Can Leeds hold on for what could be a massive 3 points? Another ball into the mixer. Headed away. Leeds are just camped in their own half now. In their own penalty area. There's no outball for them at the minute. Hackney sees more of it. Steps away from one. Shoots, block. Good defending.
Great block. That's what you need when your team's under the pump.
Ampadu it was. Inter, having been pegged back, have gone straight up the end and scored. Bayern 1 Inter 2. Champions League first leg quarter-final ties. Arsenal 3-0 up against Real Madrid. Ball inside the Leeds half. It feels like it's been in this half forever. In this second half. Ball played forward by Hackney. Breaks again. Fired in. Byram clears it away. Ball played forward. I've got to ask a question now, Neil. Should Daniel Farke be saying to Willie Gnonto, go stand on the halfway line, give us something to get out, or do they just keep their shape and keep defending?
Well, I mean, it looks like they're just trying to run the clock down, to be honest, and defend. I mean, I think this is a point now where the ball's with Darlow. It's a misplaced pass that's run through to him, where they can get themselves together and just get up the pitch. They just need to try and relieve this pressure, because the more they're camped in their own half, it only takes a ricochet deflection to fall to a red shirt, and that would undo all their hard work.
Well, Daniel Farke is imploring his team to get forward. Darlow picked the ball up about it must be 15-20 seconds ago, and now he's saying Conway's in his way, so he can't clear it. He does clear it over halfway. 4 added on minutes here, not as many as maybe Middlesbrough fans were hoping for. Ball played out wide on the right. Giavogi hasn't come on yet. Byram heads the ball away. Dyke still has it inside his own half. Gnonto nicks it away from him and forces him back. We're in the 4 added on minutes here. Leeds lead 1-0. If they hang on, they go back to the top. Talk about a topsy-turvy night. They were third at the start of play. They could end the night top of the pile. Giavogi about to come on, and he will replace Brendan Aronson in Leeds' final change. So Giavogi comes on.
Looks like Borough are making a sub as well.
Well,
Matty Fry that's coming on.
It's never, now or never, Dale Fry coming on.
Dale Fry.
He's coming on for the midfielder Aidan Morris. So is this just a big lad up front?
Well,
stick it in the mixer? Well, Dale Fry has been injured. There was a concern he wouldn't be fit. They had him on the bench. They've thought we may as well use him. Can he be the unlikely goal scorer here? Well, we've had a minute of the 4. The ball's not been in play. It's in play now. Leeds fans are hoping they can hang on. Middlesbrough fans are hoping there's going to be an equaliser. Illing Jr. down the left, puts a great cross in. Darlow missed it, and Byram heads it past the far post. Darlow didn't know whether to stick or twist. He did neither, and Byram turns it behind for a corner. What a cross from Illing Jr.
Yeah, fantastic cross from Illing Jr. And he actually does enough there, Darlow, you know, he just helps it on its way away from goal.
The keeper's coming up. Yeah. Travers steaming into the box now. Ball whipped in towards the 6-yard box, comes off a couple of heads. Darlow gets up and collects it on his goal line. And now Travers, well, I guess if Leeds would have taken that quickly, they could have tried to engineer something. But Travers just wanders back into his own goal, and it's still 1-0. Daniel Farke looks on. Look, you've been in this position, Neil. He looks like he's ageing by the second.
Yeah, he's actually done really well, you know. This is an unbelievably good clean sheet, a side that are scoring goals at the moment.
Bamford earns a free kick, a really soft one. Not sure he'll get away with throwing the ball away. Michael Carrick wasn't overly impressed with that. A reminder tonight that Burnley have been held at Derby. Sheffield United have been beaten at home by Millwall. So Millwall back in the mix. They take on Middlesbrough at the weekend. Leeds at home to Preston. You'll hear that live on Talksport 2. on Saturday lunchtime.
This is definitely a blow in it for Borough.
Huge blow, but not a terminal one yet. Ball played forward. Well defended again. Byram came across, gets it away to Al Tanaka, whose goal denied in that first half. What a different game it would have been. And Hackney now plays it and leads a caught short. Here on the right come Middlesbrough. There's 4 red shirts in the middle. Ball played forward, cleared away. It'll fall here to Howson. Gets it away to Willing Jr. Shoots through bodies. And it's a goal kick for Leeds. Middlesbrough appeal for a corner, but they're not going to get one.
Yeah, they've thrown the kitchen sink at Leeds, but they've defended magnificently in this final 20 minutes. Got bodies on the line, they've tracked runners, they've worked in units, they've been difficult to play through, and this would be one really well-earned clean sheet if they can keep it.
How can you not love the Championship? It is edge of the seat stuff. Whoever you support, whoever you follow. Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1. Leeds will leapfrog Sheffield United and Burnley if they can hang on another few seconds. The Leeds fans haven't sat down all night. Ball chested to Gruyev, cleared away Dijksteel. Every header valuable now. They've given away a free kick. Middlesbrough have got one more chance. Travers comes racing forward to take it. They've played it short though. Surely they needed to send everybody forward. They put it in the mixer. Fry heads it on. It's missed kick by Bogle. Schmidt heads it away, edge of the area. It's not dealt with yet. Ball turned away. Schmidt trying to win it. Ball rolling out of play. Held in on the near side. Middlesbrough drive forward with Azaz. Pass cleared. Can Bamford get to it? He will. And now he can run valuable seconds off the clock. He fades it to Nonto. No, it isn't. He's giving it away. Here now goes Howson. Slide tackle. Great slide tackle. Bamford comes in. And he gets it back to Nonto. And Nonto back to Bamford. Bamford over halfway. Plays it to Schmidt. Schmidt, has he got the legs to get onto it? Gets it edge of the penalty area. He's got no one with him. He goes to ground. His legs gave up, but it doesn't matter. The full-time whistle goes, and Leeds United are back on top in the Championship race. They have beaten Middlesbrough by 1-0. Dan James' goal after 2 minutes proved to be decisive in the end. Leeds scored 2 more perfectly good goals. Al Tanaka in the first half disallowed by an offside flag that should never arrived. And in the second half, after Bamford on as a substitute was played in by Nonto, it passed the keeper. It should have been another goal. That too was chalked off. Borough threw everything at it. Darlow, truth be told, didn't have the greatest of work to do at the end, but what he did well. And Leeds have a clean sheet. They have 3 points, and they leap above Sheffield United and Burnley back to the top of the Championship. Neil Redfern, what a night for Leeds. It was edge of the seat stuff. Well, they've hung on, and they've got the job done.
Yeah, these sort of performances are what promotions are made of, Mark. Everything about it. They did all the horrible stuff really well in that last 20 minutes. They tracked runners, they blocked shots, they made it difficult for Borough to play through them. And they really stuck together as a team. Again, you know, from Borough's point of view, just didn't have enough. You have to say that over the 90 minutes, or the 90 plus minutes, Leeds deserve that, to be honest with you. The 2 goals disallowed that were goals, and they also scored the winning goal of the game. But what a fantastic advert for Championship football. Brilliant from both sides.
It was indeed. Let's see what has happened tonight in the Championship. Blackburn 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Bristol City, massive result. They've beaten West Brom, late goal there. 2-1. Derby 0, Burnley 0. Norwich 0, Sunderland 0. Preston 2, Cardiff 2. Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. Stoke 1, Luton 1. Watford 1, Hull 0. And Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1. What does that do to the Championship table? Well, it means that Leeds United are now top on goal difference, 85 points. Burnley second, 85 points. Sheffield United are third on 83 points. Sunderland 76, Bristol City 63. Borough stay in the top 6, but Coventry do have a game in hand. And crucially, Middlesbrough take on Millwall, who are just 3 points behind them at the weekend. The The twists and turns are coming thick and fast. Don't forget, we'll hear how Burnley get on Friday night. They're live on Talksport 2. Tomorrow night, it's Paris Saint-Germain against Aston Villa, live in the Champions League quarter-finals, and Coventry-Portsmouth. Can Coventry jump back into the top six? Ian Danta and the former Liverpool striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, our commentary team. It's a trio of European ties. Legia Warsaw, Chelsea, 5:45 on Thursday. Lyon, Manchester United and Tottenham, Frankfurt, both live from 8 across the Talksport network. And on Friday, we're back in the Championship, Burnley, Norwich. And on Saturday, we'll see Leeds take on Preston. What a amazing night. Leeds, I think, you mentioned it there, Neil, deserved the win tonight, and had they not won, the controversy surrounding it would have been heartbreaking.
Yeah, it would. You know, I just thought they had the quality on the night. I thought they had the better performers. I thought Dan James was unplayable at times. I thought Tandaka was immense in midfield alongside Gruev. You know, and it was just a backs to the wall, you know, for the final 20 minutes. All of the team in it together, everybody fighting and chasing for the ball. And that's what promotion teams are made of. Doesn't always have to look pretty, but you get the job done, and that's what Leeds United's done tonight. For Borough, back to the drawing board, really. They've got work to do.
They do indeed. Congratulations to Birmingham. They're promoted back to the Championship. They've beaten Peterborough by 2-1 in League One. Bolton 0, Rotherham 1, Exeter 1, Wigan 1, Huddersfield 0, Wycombe 1, Mansfield 2, Leyton Orient 3, and Shrewsbury on Reading 3. In League 2, 1-1. Over on Talksport tonight, you get the Sports Bar at 10 o'clock. Jason Cundy and Jermaine Pennant. And, well, Mr. Cundy might well be saying tonight, has anybody seen Real Madrid? Because they've been thumped at the Emirates by 3-0. They had a man sent off late on as well there, Real Madrid. Bayern 1, Inter Milan 2. If you want to speak to the boys, Jason Cundy and Jermaine Pennant, you need to get 03717223344 is the number to dial. There might be Leeds fans wanting to dial in, making their way down the A19 back to Leeds, or you can send a voice note via WhatsApp to that very same number. Coming up here on Talksport 2, it's an episode of Inside Chelsea. Our thanks, as ever, to Neil Redfern. What a night for Leeds United. They started the night on the outside looking in, but they picked up a vital 3 points as both Burnley and Sheffield United stumble. It means Leeds at top of the pile. They win at the Riverside. It ends here, Middlesbrough 0, Leeds United 1.